Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, welcome to the DTM eSports 2025 Championship. It's round two. We're here at the Norisring, which is, well, one of the most unique racing circuits in Europe, maybe in the world. Also one of my very favourite places as well. Talking of favourite, one of my favourite commentators in the world is Connery Maddock. How you doing, mate? You right?
Yeah, I'm doing absolutely fine. It's another day, it's another DTM eSports race, and can't be more than excited for it because obviously a couple of weeks ago we had the first race of the season, or the first set of races of the season, and they were absolute barnstormers. So hopefully that has set the tone for the rest of the season.
100%. Not only do we have a DTM Esports Championship with two races, we have a Community Cup race, which last time out was absolutely bananas. But let's check out what we've got coming up for you during this season. Let's check out the calendar of the season for you then. So, of course, we've done round number one at Zandvoort, which I think is probably going to be the track where it's more difficult to overtake than anywhere else. So expect it to be even more exciting now as we move on. We're here for round number two. We're at the Norisring. If you've never seen this circuit before, ladies and gentlemen, you are going to be in for an absolute shock. There's only four corners, but it's not an oval. We then head to round number three, which is at the Nürburgring on the 18th of April. So that is in a couple of weeks' time. Then we have a special event. Still have no idea what that is. So, yeah, I can't wait for that to be announced. We then have round four on the 30th of May at the Saxon Ring. Then we head to round number 5 at the Red Bull Ring on the 27th of June. And then we head to the Hockenheim Ring for the finale on the 18th of July for round number 6. But let's check out today's timetables. You're all sat there wondering, oh, what's going on today? Well, let's have a look then, shall we? So, of course, we've got a Community Cup happening at the bottom of the hour. There's so much information. We've got interviews with DTM drivers and all sorts for you, by the way, in the next 10 minutes. So just bear with us. But yeah, we will have the Community Cup race, which is 20 minutes long. Then we have qualifying one for race number 1 in the DTM eSports. And then we'll have qualifying number 2, which a second race, which is race number 2, for 30 minutes. The difference between race number 1 and race number 2 is that there's a mandatory pit stop in race number 2 where they have to change all 4 tyres. And then the stream will indeed be over. So let's very quickly check out the entry list for this season's DTM eSports. Again, the first race will not be these drivers. The first race will be a community-based championship, which is there's been a time trial for. Tim Yarshall is there from last season's championship. Of course, the reigning champ. We've got Lucas Muller, Leonard Krippner. They're all going to be in the Falcon livery there. You've got Gianmarco Fiducci, he's a privateer. Vil Craivi. We've got Andika Ramamaulana, Emre Chihan, Lloyd Bedolf. We've got Turka Hakkinen, who was a big surprising figure, actually, last time out. Really announced himself, actually, along with his teammate Philip Dreys. Christian Mitchell as well had a very good race number 2. We've then got Drevozakov, pretty much nailed that. Julian Kunzer, Nicholas Huben. We've then got Michal Neg. We've got Enzo Filipao. We've got Leonard Carton, Bence Banky, Max Pfeiffer, Florian Hasser, Christian Uhas. We've got Patrick Shari, Bo Dixon, Luciano Whitver, Alessandro Ottaviani, Julian Klaffenberg, which is, again, still the best name in the championship. We've got Kaj de Bruin, we've got Peter Berliak, Isaac Price, Manuel Vera Kimona, and Maciej Milniak. And if you just heard an ice cream van, that's because there's one right outside my window. I've just realised I've left that wide open. So, yeah, unfortunately, no ice creams for anybody here. Right, let's check out the past champions of the DTM eSports. Not this, obviously not for 2025, but in past seasons. In 2022, it was Moritz Lohner, of course, then went to DTM Trophy and drove in the Real Series for a season and a half. We then have Kevin Siggy, who won it in 2022 for Team Redline. So Williams Esports, Team Redline have both won. And then Tim Yarshall, the dominant figure last time out with Falcon Sim Racing, managed to pick up the crown last time around. Let's check out the BOP. This is the first and last time I'll mention BOP over the course of this broadcast because I just hate talking about it. Ferrari, though, has got plus 9 kilograms. It is plus 11 for the Porsche, plus 16 for the McLaren. We've then got plus 7 for the BMW. We've got the Lamborghini Huracan plus 5, and then the Mercedes has got 0. So yeah, not no performance ballast there. So that might mean that the car's not great, or it could mean it's a bit of a sleeper. Who knows? Let's check out then the car selection. Of course, at the start of the season, everyone chose a car, and they have to stick with that for the rest of the season. So there was 9 drivers that chose a Ferrari, 10 that chose a Porsche. McLaren, which is ironically the championship leader, 1 person chose that. The BMW had 8 chosen. We've then got the Lamborghini Huracan with 3, and then the Mercedes AMG has 1 person that has chosen it. Right, let's check out the standings of the championship then, ladies and gentlemen cars. And it is Isaac Price then who does lead the way. So yeah, Isaac Price is a legend in the world of sim racing, always been there or thereabouts in any competition that he's ever taken part in. But we had a couple of new names take their place in the championship hunt, didn't they, Conor? We have Philip Dreys and Turka Hakkinen, who have been obviously in and around, with the shootout, in and around the top spots, but never really been right at the sharp end. But they really proved themselves 2 weeks ago.
Yeah, early going in the season, but fantastic performance from everyone involved inside that top three. But yeah, getting to see those new names, those fresher names, at least at the very very top level of race room esports or sort of sim racing in general, is always fantastic to see. But for them, they're going to have the doubts now coming into this second round. Is that just an opening round fluke, or is that going to be a consistent level of performance going throughout the season? We will just have to wait and see.
No, well, hopefully it's not a fluke. I don't think it will be. Last season, it was a fixed championship, whereas this season they're allowed to change the setup. So, yeah, if you've found something within the setup, that it will make you a little bit more consistent, I would say. So I don't think it'll be a fluke. But each week there is a different track to contend with. So certain cars will be faster, certain driver styles will be faster, and all of that good stuff. Right, we are at the Norisring, which we got an interview with a driver where my favourite memory comes from. I can't tell you what that memory is because it's nothing to do with actual racing. But we've got an interview with Ricardo Fella, who was a late call up to DTM. He's almost synonymous with DTM now at this point. So he will be back in the championship, and now you can get to hear from him. And he's also going to give us a little talk about some sim racing as well.
So we are with Ricardo Fella, who's back in the DTM. Well, Ricardo, good to see you, but it was quite a late call, wasn't it?
Yeah, thank you, Toby. It was actually a last-minute call. I'm very happy to be back with my ex-team, Land Motorsport, in DTM this year. And also a big thank you to Porsche for even making it possible, because I'm still contracted to them. But they gave me permission because with the Porsche team, they unfortunately had to pull out just before the season started. And yeah, now I have the possibility to race again in the Audi, so a big thank you for that.
Well, it was like a homecoming, wasn't it? To go back to Land Motorsport, you won the champions title in the ADAC GT Masters with Chris Mies once. I guess it was 21, wasn't it?
Yes, 2021.
Nice. So yeah, it was like a homecoming, wasn't it?
Definitely, yeah. We were right away there. It was a bit like I never left.
So now the tests are over. We are heading into the first race of the season, DTM Oschersleben. The first race of the season is near. But tell us something about, how was it to meet all the drivers again at the racetrack? We have a great competitive field, I guess, with 9 manufacturers. We have 24 drivers. We have some old guns like Timo Glockberg. We have some young guns. We have some experienced drivers. What's going to happen this season? What are your personal goals?
Well, I think the field is quite competitive again, and I think the fans can look forward to some great racing action. Yeah, me personally, we will just try to do our best and enjoy that we can even be there. But for sure, we're not perfectly prepared right now. So the test was very important for us to get some data and to start develop the car right now until the first race. And then we see, hopefully, sooner or later, we can drive in the front of the field.
Looking forward to see you on the racetrack again. The first race of the season at end of April on Oschersleben. But let's switch over to the DTM Esports Championship. We have also a very high competitive field now with 32 drivers. How's your actual DTM Esports or sim racing experience in general?
Yeah, I have to be honest. I'm not sitting in a simulator that often. I don't have one at home actually. But there are some tracks when they are new. Then I go to the simulator to prepare a bit better. For example, last year I did the first time Macau, and there was a race in Jeddah. And for these 2 tracks, I went to the simulator just to prepare myself. So. I'm not fully against it, but the time is so tight between the race weekends during the season that when I'm home, that I enjoy a bit of free and family time, and I'm not going to spend too many hours then in the simulator. except when I feel that I need it. Simulators are always are still getting better and closer to reality. So it's very good that we can we can learn some tracks on these simulators.
Luckily, it's a cheap opportunity for some young drivers to get into motorsport when they can't afford to race in karting or stuff like that.
Yeah, that's for sure. Karting and everything is getting so expensive, and if you have a crash or something, it costs even more. And that's the cool thing in the simulator. You just press reset or you start again, and then everything is fine. So it's actually really cool that you can have a simulator at home and drive all around the world, different races. You can just do it for fun, or you can do it competitive. So it's really cool.
Nice. So thank you very much. Thank you very much for your time, Ricardo. Hope to see you soon at the racetrack. See you in Oschersleben. And yeah, thank you.
Oh, Ricardo Fella, what a beautiful, beautiful man he is. Oh, God, he is hot, hot, hot. Anyway, Norisring, ladies and gentlemen. Number of corners. That's a lie. There's 4. I believe there's only 4 here, but it says 8 on the graphic. But yeah, officially there's 8. But again, it's only 4. Circuit length is 2.3 kilometers. Again, it's just long straights here. I've cycled. It is quite long, but it's not a lot of technicalities to it. Race time, of course, 20 and then 30 minutes. Total race distance, 145 kilometers. We then have the lap record, which is Nicki Thiim in 2024 for the SSR Performance Lamborghini, a 49.141. We're expecting to see times a little bit faster than that in Sim. So yes, very exciting indeed. Before we go to the qualifying in the Community Cup, well, actually we can go there, but shout out to Mesa, we've got Neek, we've got Super Colos who watching over on YouTube, Underball, Westside Western, we've got Haz, Cara Lee watching over on Twitch. So get yourselves involved in the chat, guys. Let me know where you're watching from and all of that good stuff. And well, it's a very familiar name. Orban, who was the winner in the first time out, is currently the top of the timesheet, qualifying with 2 minutes to go.
Absolutely. Not by a huge margin, however. It's only, half a tenth of a second back to Ronald Sen, the Swiss driver back there in second place. It does seem that, as you can see, the multitude of the same logo on the left-hand side, everyone has decided to go in the same car, but the problem for us comes here, Luke, is that they're going to all be in the same livery. So this is going to be a particularly tricky one for us to commentate on. So you'll have to bear with us. Well, roughly similar liveries, but it's going to be a nightmare.
Oh, this is going to be like a bit of a kick in the nut.
The occasional. We got the occasional, Max Muller, but I'm already seeing a lot of duplicates out there, so this is going to be interesting.
Yeah, it's basically the Opel Cup with a couple of Astons, a couple of Alfa Romeos there. So it'll be loud.
Yeah.
I can guarantee it's going to be loud, ladies and gentlemen. But making sense of this race is going to be absolutely nuts. We saw how good it was last time out. This time it should be just as good. So Orban is currently in the lead. Sen, who I'm sure was in the first Community Cup race, currently in second with the Swiss flag there. We then got Gunay as Sen goes pole position. Okay, a 49.929. And actually, if we check out the track information once again, Connery, for me, I'm pretty sure we're actually about 8 tenths slower. So last time we were a lot faster with Zanvil, but this time we seem to be a little bit. Oh, to be fair, we're not. Hold on, we're not using the same cars. Just ignore me. What am I talking about? That's just, those are DTM GT3 cars. We're in. Oh, okay. Well, I'm just going to stop talking at this point. So we've got Lucas Ring, who's representing BZEP's TikTok. So whether he can concentrate for 20 minutes or not, it remains to be seen. But yeah, it's looking good.
I guess we all have our blunders. Believe me, I've had so many. But
yeah, that's a bit less for me. It's like I don't know what would that be like. That'd be like, it's like a normal aeroplane and a spaceship trying to say that they're the same thing. Yeah, not good.
Absolutely, but this qualifying session has wound itself down to a close. So we'll attempt to get ourselves our qualifying order on screen in a little bit. Once the software decides to play ball with me, which it doesn't always do, but we'll have to wait and see.
Copy that. There's the wall out the exit of turn number 3. Yeah, you'll see cars bouncing off of that over the course of this race. It will slow them down significantly as well. So if someone does make a mistake through there, it's probably the best opportunity to actually make an overtake down in towards the final corner and also into turn number 1. Turn number 1 is the harshest braking zone, and then you've got, of course, the final corner where if you don't nail the second to last corner, you're in trouble. It looks like we're not going to quite get the qualifying results here, but we will be able to tell you who is where once we get onto the grid. So that will sort itself out very, very shortly. But yeah, so Sen takes pole. Orban not having it all his own way this Community Cup. He was so dominant last time out of Zandvoort. I was kind of expecting the same today. But yeah, if he doesn't get up into the lead, it's going to make it very, very difficult indeed. Well, there we go. There's the order. So Sen, Orban, Gunay, and then we've got Evtushenko in 4th position. Then we've got Ribeiro, who was battling for the lead last time out of Zandvoort. We're about to go green light racing. I think we're off. We are off, ladies and gentlemen. We're having a quick look at the old pit lane there. So we're all good. Looks like Orban has got a move done on Sen and actually is driving away, judging by the time. But Sen sent one up the inside into turn number 1. Orban has been involved in something because he's now down to 5th position. But yeah, oh, there we go. Now we got it. So Sen is 3/10 clear of Evtushenko, and Orban has dropped down into 5th position. So there must have been contact there between Sen and Orban. And ultimately, Orban's now going to have to do all that hard work. Because Jansen... Oh, he's in a wall. You can see him there in the background. Off he goes. We're now seeing a battle here between Sen and Evtushenko. Evtushenko's going to take the outside line. Should actually, if he doesn't get sent up the inside by Gunay, have a run on the outside. He did get sent. He doesn't have a run.
Yeah, absolutely is. Well, Royal Sen thankful that he's got some battling going on in his wing mirrors here at the moment, as Evtushenko ahead of it, but it is Ribeiro and Sinyan Gunay side by side down in towards the braking zone here, as Ribeiro goes very, very deep on the outside. Still holding on the inside though is Gunay, as he just runs out of the ground a little bit, unable to get the traction down, and Ribeiro holds on to P3.
Orban was involved in that incident as well, the second incident, because he's now down in P27. So it looks like we are going to have a different winner for the Community Cup in the second time of asking. Sen, though, currently in the lead. But yeah, we didn't see it, but it did look like Orban was leading, and he then went down to 5th really quickly, which normally means either a driver error or someone has helped them have a driver error. So, yeah, it remains to be seen whether that gets protested or whatnot. We just didn't see it, so we do not know. But as it stands, 18 minutes left on the clock. Sen leads, Evtushenko in 2nd, Ribeiro in 3rd. Well, actually, I think, judging by these results, Ribeiro would actually be leader of the Community Cup Championship. So that's something to definitely think about.
Absolutely. Oh, as Ribeiro gets wrapped around the nose, and Gunay through. And, well, that one was a little bit of a, well, tripping over each other's toes down into there, as maybe shoving the nose into a gap that didn't really appear. We'll have to see what your assessment is of that, Luke. But Ribeiro, he actually got recovered very, very quickly. He didn't spin all the way around, pointed in the wrong direction. He was able to sort of cut across the hairpin a little and get back going, and only lose his positions down in towards P6, which that could have been much, much worse.
Yeah, as soon as I mention anything, it tends to go wrong there, doesn't it? So Ribeiro, excuse me, just a big hiccup. Ribeiro was looking really, really good, but ultimately now drops down because of that altercation into turn number 1. We've got Rodrigo Senra, like, it reminds me of TOCA 3 race driver. Oh my God, that is an unbelievable shout. Yes, this track does remind me of that too.
There's a lot of smoke. There's a lot of smoke going from from these cars. We saw that in the Community Cup race at Zandvoort as well.
So low.
Tending to get a little bit sideways. Yeah.
They're so low, and the traction is at a minimum. You've got to try and get the power down as early as possible, and ultimately spin the wheels up, trying to gain that advantage that will give you a couple of hundredths of a second. Looked like Muller was about to go defensive there. Ribeiro very, very closely. Roche, though, Rush, should I say, is able to drive away. A 4/10 of a second gap around here is actually huge. And the battle for the front is very much heating up. Evtushenko may be about to be close enough to make a potential move. It's going to force Sen to be a little bit defensive. He will be slow now on the exit of turn number 1. And Evtushenko is not able to really make that work and actually ultimately pushes Sen forward in this race. So they're kind of working together to keep that gap as Arfan's moving up the order here. Araki's just got past Sven Mackenberg. Wow. I'll let you tell me what P14's called, but they're moving.
Yeah, absolutely is. I'm not gonna attempt that last lane. Harry Watts though is his first name. The Thai driver he's embroiled in the battle there with Hill, which is probably the opposite in terms of name complexity there. But look at this, 3 wide.
Chotter Rayafat in 14th. Oh, good God. Well, that is yeah. Well, it's all uphill from here for Hill. They're all weak. Oh God, I make silly jokes, but here we are. But anyway, yeah, they were facing the wrong way, and that was not good. I wasn't laughing at the incident as we see 700 Opals making their way around Norisring still. We're on board with Gunay, who is now 1.5 seconds behind the front two. Front two are very, very closely compacted here, and I will be very surprised if we don't see a potential move. Well, actually, might happen here. It's a very good exit from Evtushenko. He's right up the rear then of the Swiss driver in Sen. Has got a purple first sector, so he's absolutely flying. And right now, just needs to go nice and wide, open up that final corner. There's a mistake then from Sen. Ironically, that mistake is going to afford him a bit more breathing room in terms of getting the power down on the exit of the corner. So it saves him this time round. But Evtushenko is stalking.
Yeah, absolutely. It's well, very tight confines to this track. Essentially a street circuit, as we see Evtushenko. Again, there's a little bit of a defensive line somewhat into the hairpin taken by Sen there. It wasn't taking the maximum entry space as you can down into there. Evtushenko was running a much more normal line. You can see the mindset of Sen feeling the need to have to go defensive, even though there wasn't an absolutely immediate threat from the Russian side.
He's banged into the wall there, slowed him down towards that final corner. Is this the opportunity for the Russian driver? They are side by side, brakes a little bit later, and now it's all about the switchback. Can he get it configured? Can he get it nailed? Cannot get that power down. And Sen is going to live to fight another day. And basically what's happened in turn number 1 is that Sen was defending fresh air, and Evtushenko just been a little bit too kind there. He needs to take a harsher braking line. He needs to be a bit more aggressive, and the opportunity will present itself. I think he might have the overlap now. Down towards turn number 1, it's not quite there. He's moving left and right, trying to manufacture something. It's not going to work out. And Sen, yet again, is holding on to the lead, but all of a sudden we've got the Turk of Gunay, who is now pushing for the race lead.
Evtushenko not too happy, a little bit of a wiggle up behind Sen there. Perhaps a little bit of a telling off. Maybe he felt like he moved too many times down into the braking zone.
Yeah, well, to be fair, it didn't look like he moved at all. It just looked like Evtushenko was just trying to find a bit of space there. So I don't think he was reacting to anything. I genuinely think Sen chose his line, and Evtushenko just changed his mind far too many times. But look at the gap now, 0.8 of a second between second and third. That ultimately will make this even spicier than it already is. Then across the start-finish line we go. We're on to lap number 9. It's 13 minutes left to go. We're not even halfway in this race. And while there is a move then, so it's commitment for Sen. Has to take the inside line. Will now be very slow. Will miss the apex. And actually, door is left open for the very first time. It's still not enough. And Evtushenko stays in P2. But more importantly, Gunay has gained another 0.2 of a second.
Into the very wide Schuller chicane, I suppose. So, bang, up against the wall there for Evtushenko. That's not exactly going to help his situation. Doesn't actually lose too much time as a result of it, but yeah, it's not going to be the most showroom clean driver's right-hand side of that car by the end of this race.
No, Gunay right now is just licking his lips like a cat that's got all the cream, because there's an opportunity on the horizon if these two continue to fight. And why wouldn't they? They're battling for a race victory. Evtushenko with the overspeed had to slipstream, has to take that outside line again, and that's a bigger mistake then from Sen. So Sen has run very deep then on the exit of turn number 1, and for the first time I think that Evtushenko's just about got his nose up ahead, and as they come through the chicane, does he get across the bonnet? He absolutely does. And Evtushenko, who was very patient in all of that, has finally got into the lead of this race, but it is now a 3-driver battle, half a second separating them all. And well, can Sen reciprocate? Will Evtushenko now drive away? Now he's got clear track. So many questions, and guess what? We're going to get all of the answers.
Indeed we are. This trio still oh so close. They had their way up across those grid spots, across the start-finish line now. Evtushenko trying to pull out a lead, and in fact he has a little bit of a gap already on the way down in towards turn number 1. Meanwhile, Sinyan Gunay looking to make some progress from P3. Not close enough this time by to get alongside the Russian, although he does go a little bit deep, ends up losing time coming off of turn number 1 there, as Ronald Sen tries to lock onto the back bumper of Evtushenko ahead, but it's going to be a tough ask for him to get back past, I think.
Yeah, Evtushenko went a little bit deep there as well. It's almost like for the first time he had to find his own breaking point with no slipstream, and he kind of just missed out a little bit. So, yeah, that was a very odd one there from Evtushenko. He has held on. You can see now Sen's just trying to get into the mirrors, just get into the mind of Evtushenko and try and force him into making a mistake. Bit of a love tap there, a little nudge to say, yeah, I'm still here. Guess what? He knows. He knows you're still there. Gune just loses that again. A few tenths of a second lost into that final corner as we go across the start-finish line. Absolute Motorsport Racing Team being represented here by Gune. So we now head up towards one once again. Technically, this right-hander's one, and now it's turn 2. As we now run very, very deep again. It's a bit better, a bit tidier, but ultimately caught up and now is struggling a little bit here. Seems very difficult to lead. Seems very difficult to lead indeed.
Yeah, absolutely. It's I mean, everyone wants to be there, but not everyone deals with the pressure of being there. Let's just say that. But right now, as this top 3 sort of spreads themselves out a little bit, it'll give us a little bit of a chance to see what's going on a little bit further down the field, because they've kind of spread out into these mini battle packs, I suppose. The mid pack has kind of kept itself together, but everywhere else is kind of the gaps have been established, shall we say. A little bit of side-by-side action ahead here. That's Cristian Romao, the Brazilian, on the back of Danny Arfan, as he'll get the traction off the corner, get the momentum perhaps, can sit inside the slipstream, side-by-side ahead between Wittmers and Pariwats here, as Chaos here in the mid-pack, I suppose. Multiple battles going on.
Yeah, Shotaraya making a move there on Wittmers, and just about get a big mistake there from Romao. Romao's going to drop Arfan here. Arfan, and actually, sorry, it's Wittmers making the move there on Shotaraya. Shotaraya losing the positions. We come now through the chicane, and Wittmers just about going to hang on there. So really nice driving from all concerned. Bit of a mistake there from Romao. So Evtushenko, by the way, has now gained a few tenths of a second on Sen, and is now starting to pull away. And that was kind of what we saw last time out from Orfan, who is, well, not even in the top 16 right now. As you see a potential move then from Shot Araya, not quite going to get it on the exit, has absolutely nailed the loud pedal and will have the run here. So Wittmers, who managed to get the move done into turn number 1 on the previous lap, might be in a bit of trouble here as they come up towards the braking zone. They are side by side, and you imagine that the Tide driver, well, actually backs out, decides against it, and there's a big mistake from Wittmers. He's going to be able to hang on there, but now all of a sudden it becomes the world's fastest formation lap as they all go 2 by 2 through turn number 1.
Yeah, it's all stacked up together. As these battles happen, they kind of hold each other up as Shotaraya is trying to hold on now to a position from Arfan. As he goes from attack to now defense. Pretty much 1 lap later, Arfan has a decent run of speed here. Will he make the move? Well, Shotaraya goes really defensive. Tries to get the exit off the corner. Is about able to hold on, but yeah, under pressure.
Arfan not quite close enough, and then all of a sudden Magalhães is also very closely following in behind. This is for a top 15. Can we make a potential move? So now I'm going to take the outside line. There's Magalhães. Gets nudged into a wall there. That's not ideal. We'll get the driver for the exit, but not quite enough. Oh, God. Both of them lit it up too much there. And ultimately, Magalhães is going to lift it enough there. Arfan holds onto the position. Shotaraya has got a bit of a gap now to work with. The lead at the front end, by the way, is now back down to 2 tenths. So Evtushenko has made a mistake somewhere, and all of a sudden the front 3 are separated by half a second. And there is a Ribeiro who was very good late on in the race last time out of Zandvoort, now trying to get back involved here. With 7 minutes to go, you wouldn't bet against it. As we see a potential move then for the lead. And I tell you what, Evtushenko is being ghosted there. He's been forced into a bit of a mistake, into a driver error, but ultimately just about holds on. As we see behind there, Muller trying to defend from Rush, Ring and Brandt. Although we've got Brandt there as the Swedish name, they are some of the most German names you're ever likely to hear. But yeah, it is Muller that just about holds on. So we've got a 3-way battle for the lead, and for a top 5, we've got a 4-way battle, and we've got 6 minutes left to go. Beautiful.
Yeah, lovely stuff. I'm amazed to see these Community Cup races really delivering here in the DTM eSports season. They're not the main event, but they're racing like they are, as Lucas Ring and Tim Rush there going wheel to wheel down the pit straight. We also might see Mike Nass decide to get himself, Melvin Brandt to get himself involved there in the black Opel there, as they'll almost try to make it 3 wide down to the hairpin. Roche goes down the inside of Ring. Ring trapped on the outside, will have a bit of space to dip back in, and he does so.
Yeah, Ring loses out there. I think he was driving with his mirrors there, and it's a little bit too kind. I think he could have hit the apex there and held on to that position, but ultimately didn't and lost out. Lead now back up to 7/10 of a second. Gunay is very close to Sen. I think that's gonna dictate. Oh, hold on. They keep closing up. I don't know what's going on with the front three. It is very close. We now are on board with Rush trying to hold on to the position. Ring then trying to get involved here. Brandt also back involved here. Also for the top 5 positions. They've got a bit of a gap then to the rest of the field out in front. So the top 4, as it stands, are Evtushenko, Sen, Gunay and Ribeiro. Ribeiro has the fastest lap of the races to change the position. So Gunay has gone up into second. So what's happened there? Well, there's a big...
Sen's around.
Oh, Sen and Ribeiro were involved in that. They're going to drop down and barely be in the top 10. So I wonder what has happened there. So Ribeiro's been involved in multiple things now, whether it's his fault or not. I don't think the first one was, unfortunately, for Ribeiro. But I still believe he'll be the championship leader. I can't see a world where he's not with this result. But Evtushenko, again, has just fought off another person trying to take his P1 and holds on to the lead.
Yeah, he does so. Unfortunately, we won't be able to go back. We don't have the replays here to be able to try and find out what happened. But yeah, it's that's a big shame. I mean, it was coming in through the hairpin, so I can only imagine potentially there was another tap to the well, just maybe a lunge towards the inside, tap to the rear, extend the car around potentially. You know, we saw that at towards the start of the race, so wouldn't be surprised if it happened again. As looking back at this battle for the bottom end of the top 10, these guys just don't know when to quit. As you saw Mike Nass there get a big slide on and a recovering Ronald Sen trying to make some progress for the last 4 minutes.
Yeah, it's a tough car to get around a circuit on your own, especially without any love taps. You get a slight bit of contact. It's so difficult to keep the car facing in the right direction. Brandt now trying to pile a bit of pressure onto Ring, and Sen makes a move then on Nass. You expect Sen to make a couple more moves here with 3 minutes 50 seconds to go, considering you know, they had the pace to be right up the sharp end and didn't really look out of control in that top 3, and now fighting their way through. And Ribeiro may be able to do exactly the same. But then Ribeiro is about to make a move. Oh, he's defended. He did get defended onto Nass. Defended that brilliantly. Brandt then is now trying to retake the move. Trying to hold on to the position from Sen. Sen trying to make up as many positions as he possibly can before the end of this race.
Yeah, it just goes to show that there does seem to be a considerable difference in pace between the sort of front couple of cars and even the bottom end of the top 10, because Sen looking very, very quick compared to others in this pack here. There's Ribeiro to the inside there, maybe trying to defend from Nass there in that situation. 3 minutes left to go. There's the duo at the front of the fields. Evtushenko.
Yeah, he ran deep there. Sorry, he ran really deep there. Again, maybe it's more of an intended line, taking the late, really late apex to get the power down. But we are seeing so many different ways of that turn 1 being taken. Sen and Brandt still fighting. But this is for the lead of the race. There's 3 tenths between them. Evtushenko's tyres are going to be screaming at him. If Gunay has looked after his a little bit better, then there's every reason to suggest that we might see a genuine battle for the lead here. Again, he just runs a little bit deep on entry, but that just helps him punch out the exit, which is key, especially at the final corners. We run all the way down towards turn number 1 across that start-finish line. 2 minutes left on the clock, so for my money, 3 laps remain.
Absolutely. It's kind of weird hearing 2 minutes to go and three laps remaining. It's such a short lap time here that we kind of lose perspective a little bit on that one. But Evtushenko holding the race lead rather well for the moment, despite all the pressure that the Turk is piling onto his rear. But we'll have to check in on that once as this race winds down. We also have to pay attention to the mid-pack as well. They've been giving us a bit of a show so far this season. There's Ronald Sen and Ribeiro having a little bit of a close run thing as they head their way through the chicane, but coming out of it now. Ribeiro might have a little bit of a run here, might be tempted to try and make a move, and goes to the outside, looks for the cutback off the corner, maybe to give him the run down in towards turn 1. But there's the race lead, Luke.
Yeah, it is. Evtushenko still holding on, and he has that inside line, and Gunay is going to try and get a better exit here. Oh, again, it just runs deep, and that's going to save him this time round. Evtushenko is, to be fair, the line he's been taking for the last few laps. It's not like he's done anything different there, but Gounet was expecting it to be a lot tighter to the apex. This is a very strange track, Connor, actually. When they race here in real life at DTM, when the pit stop cycle happens, it just makes it such a mess because cars that were once leading could be a lap down, right? And then they're involved in battles mid-pack, a lap down, and it just is crazy. Oh no! No! Leaders have been taken out! The back marker gets involved. Luckily, they're both going to be in the same positions they were. Who was that that's just completely, well, blindsided them?
Whoa.
You hate a rejoin like that. You are going to be furious, of course.
I mean, it is... Oh, went down into the braking zone. Gounet into the back.
Oh, they're into each other. Evtushenko does just about hold on. Gounet is trying everything. Oh, boy, we are on the final lap here. To be fair, Evtushenko did confirm his position, or did go very early there to make it obvious as to where he was going to go. As we're on board the ring, we've got to stay with the leaders here, though. As much as we love seeing a battle, I want to see this battle for the lead come down to the last corner. I think Gounet's going to send it here, but he's at least going to get a very good exit around this final corner. Evtushenko, oh, he just went through there a little bit slower than you would expect from him. Very wily there, the old fox. Evtushenko, though, is going to take the second round in the Community Cup victory. Congratulations to him. Gounet threw everything at him. We're on board with Brandt and Ring. They're going to be side by side. Oh, sorry, Ribeiro. I think Brandt is just about going to get it. He does. Oh, God. Ring takes P5. We've got Sen that finishes behind Ribeiro in the end. My God, the Community Cup race every single time is just ridiculous. I love it.
That was one of the weirder endings that I've seen. Just out of nowhere, a back marker just sort of making contact with the outside wall coming out of the final turn, directly into the path of our two leaders. Hit both of them, by the way. And I think that was kind of equalized things somewhat, because they both might have gotten a bit of damage as a result of it. So they were still kind of equal cars towards the end there, despite them getting shunted, both of them getting shunted.
Yeah, ladies and gentlemen, if you just tuned in, this is DTM eSports 2025, and this is the Community Cup. This is not even the championship yet. This is the tier below you, if you like, the support series. So you can only imagine what the main series is going to be like. Evtushenko then does take the victory, 50.095 best lap. We've then got Sinan Gunai, who takes second, Max Muller and Tim Rush take third and fourth, Lucas Ring, Melvin Brandt. We've then got Thomas Ribeiro, Roland Sen, Mike Nass. We've got Sebastian Ree as your top 10. We then got Araki and Mackenberg, Whitmers, Chotaraya, Fat, Magalej. We've got Ramal, Arfan, Hill, Darkalangelo, and Janssen as your top 20. Go a bit further down. We've got Torsten Leber, Christian Orban, Andrea Percy, Natalie Johnson. We've got Chris Burison, Fraser Rostance, Luca Torresani. We've then got Marcel Sen, Bernardo Lorenzo is a lap down, and then we've got Dirk Gretchen. So I think it was, well, actually, it might have been Marcel Sen, who was right at the front fighting for the lead, is ultimately rejoined into the leaders. So that's definitely going to be looked into. That's because he was a part of the lead group. So yeah, that seems a little bit naughty for my money there, Connery. What a race that was!
That was an interesting one, wasn't it? The Community Cup race has delivered once again with some fantastic action. The race leads, mid-pack, top 10, and I imagine further down the field as well. We didn't get much of an opportunity to look at it, but I imagine those guys were going crazy as well. So, yeah, absolutely. This again, this is a nice little introduction to DTM eSports, I suppose, as we get the full-time, or a lot of them are full-time professionals behind the wheel in a couple of moments' time. But yeah, that was nice, crazy.
Well, while we wait for a couple of our drivers, we're supposed to be having interviews with the Community Cup drivers. They didn't show up last time, so I'm not holding much hope this time either. But let's have a look at the entry list for the DTM eSports 2025 briefly, and then we can discuss a few of our, let's say, the favourites from last time out. Of course, Isaac Price, the sole McLaren, is the championship leader. We've then got Philip Dreys in second position right now, who was a bit of a shock to the system. Really, last time out, and did exceptionally well. And in the interview, he was even a little bit surprised. But once he figured out he was one of the faster drivers, he was kind of like, yeah, I can probably hang with them. And then we've got Turga Hakkinen, who was a bit of a surprise. Anyone else stick out for you in that list of drivers?
I mean, you've got all the old names there, haven't you, that we expect to see. Although we saw in race number 1, not necessarily all of them are on the form. At least we have a sample size of one race. So we'll have to see if that repeats down in towards race number 2, and it's a Norisring, which can be a different factor. But I tell you what, I always like seeing. Look, I always like seeing Emre Can, right? Very, very competent driver. I mean, I remember commenting him when he was first sort of making an impact on the scene, and we kind of knew that, hang on, there's going to be something here in a second. If he keeps at this for a couple of years, he might be at the top of sim racing, and well, there he is. DTM eSports, well, at least in terms of his championship at the moment, it's let's see where he is. He's in P7, which yeah, is pretty good going at the moment. I imagine as he gets more used to running in these sorts of high stakes events, that experience will start to develop, and he might be a force to be reckoned with. Maybe not this season, but definitely something for the future.
Longevity-wise, I've been commentating for a very long time. Multiple different sims, Race Room in particular, have been for a super long time. And Emre Can is one of those names that were around when Tim Heinemann was competing against Moritz Lohner, who's competing against Kevin Siggy. This is 10 years ago. Those guys were competing against each other, and you look at that list of drivers there, right? 32 drivers, and he's the only name from back then. There's not many in that list that you can go.
Yeah,
and I'm sure many of them were driving, but I'm saying being at the top end, in this sort of arena, like Emre Can is so very much the only name left.
Yeah, and I mean what I said in the context of Race Room, right? Because obviously these guys have been around for a very long time, but but sometimes as simulators come and go and games come and go, people start to get towards the top. Some people drop off because maybe they don't get as used to the simulator as some others. It doesn't fit their driving style, but it's always great to see Emre around and seemingly very confident with Race Room as it is at the moment, and hopefully at some point he'll be able to make a really, really big impact on these big championships.
Yeah, absolutely. So, right, let's get into the DTM eSports then. Looks like we're not going to have an interview with the Community Cup drivers. None of them are here right now. No, they're not. So, let's check out the track info very, very briefly. So you can, if you've just joined in, you can see exactly who we are. Where we are racing, of course. So there we go, the Norisring. 4 corners. It says 8. It's 4. It's 8. It could be 8. It could be 4. Whatever you tickles your fancy. We'll have 2 races today. First one will be 20 minutes, very similarly to the Community Cup. And then we will have a 30-minute time race, which has a mandatory pit stop in the second one. So that will be your content for today. I will throw something in there right now. We're going to check out an incident from Tim Yarshall. So we can put that up on your screens right now. So Tim Yarshall, who is the reigning champ, received a penalty, 6 penalty points for this last time out. So that was at Zandvoort. As you can see there, he was like, hey, I'm here. Oh, sorry. Yeah, my bad. But yeah, my bad is one thing. Receiving penalty points is quite another. He will receive that. He didn't give the position back either, so deserves it. Naughty step, slap on the wrist, all of that good stuff. So yeah, that is that's the first bit of news that we need to get out there. But let's check out the standings then. What does that mean for the standings for the series? Well, it means that, of course, Isaac Price, who is the only driver that chose to be in a McLaren, is leading the championship. 60 points. He's on 12 points clear of Philip Drees. Philip Drees managed to get a race win last time out, along with Isaac Price. But Isaac Price won the second race, which is worth more points. And, if you win race number 1, you get 24 points. If you win race number 2, it's worth 40 points. So, yeah, the difference between the two is massive. Then you've got Turga Hakkinen in 3rd position. So Drees and Hakkinen, those two are big surprises. Then you've got Tim Yarshall, who would be on 43. So actually would still be in 4th position, but has lost 6 points. So he's in 37. Lucas Muller then is in 5th, tied with Florian Hasser. Then you've got Emre Can, you've got Leonard Krippner, Gianmarco Fiducci, and Julian Kunze. Oh, right, so that is the information that we needed to look at. There are all of our drivers there. Just, seem all very much excited to be there. Looks like someone's having an interview there. They look very happy indeed. But I guess we should probably head over to qualifying then for race number 1 of the day. So there we go. We're in qualifying. We've got 9 minutes, 30 seconds left, and they're just about kicking things off here, Connery.
Yeah, absolutely, and we saw some crazy qualifying sessions at Zandvoort for our first round of the season. So hopefully, we'll get a similar situation here at the Norisring. However, it is such a short lap time here, so drivers will get themselves a plethora of opportunities for them to get themselves their best time on the board, right? So I don't necessarily think, Luke, anyone is going to be really, really out of position here because they've got, so many opportunities to get a flying lap in properly, right? So usually we might see some drivers, only get 3-4 proper flying laps, and then they sort of, it doesn't quite get hooked together on any of them. You kind of almost have double the opportunities here to get a lap in by the time this 10-minute qualifying session finishes. So I'm not necessarily expecting anyone to be out of position unless they've had a bit of a nightmare in terms of their preparation and practice for this event.
Yeah, well, no, that's fair enough. Yeah, you're pretty much right there, I guess.
Pretty much right. I should hang that above my door.
It just takes having a stinker for 10 minutes, right? And then you really are in trouble. Like, if you're 1/10 of a second off of your best, on this grid, you're going to be 10 positions down. So there is, I understand what you're saying, but the jeopardy is, as much as you get loads of opportunities, you can have an off 10 minutes, you're in real trouble. So it does work both ways. Someone who seems to be back to their very best is Tim Yarshall, who's currently fastest by 0.06 of a second. And if you want to know what 0.06 a second, that's it. That was the noise. That was a car noise, but it was so fast that you wouldn't even know the car noise. There you go.
Yeah, it's for Tim Yarshall. I mean, it wasn't a fantastic Zandvoort by his standards. I mean, by anyone else's standards, it was still pretty all right. But as we're seeing him used to being on the top step of the podium, or at least any step of the podium at least, it was a bit of a surprise. But seems to be back on form here, at least in the early portions of qualifying. Of course, there were some BOP changes. Sorry, I mentioned it again, Luke. But coming into this, as the McLaren got the worst end in terms of the weight penalties, which feels bad if you're Isaac Price because you're the only one in the McLaren.
Yes, that's a little bit annoying for him, and he's currently P16. So after leading the championship, a couple of P16s here with Tim Yarshall being at the front, you're in a little bit of trouble, aren't you? Let's check out where Drays is. Where is Drays in all of this? Well, he's even further back, isn't he? Where is Philip Drays?
Yeah, he's 320.
Oh, there's Philip Drays. Where's Hakkinen? So Hakkinen's P13. So right now, Tim Yarshall's going to be licking his lips.
Yeah, back on form. Seemingly, some of the Porsches doing very well. Top 2 are Porsches. Muller 4th place, Emre Can 6th place. There's a gaggle of Ferraris behind them. But it seems like the BMWs, Mercedes, the single McLaren, not anywhere to be found inside of the top 15 cars. So it's, yes. We'll see this throughout the season as different cars will be stronger at different tracks. That's just a natural thing to happen. As you see Ottaviani on a very good lap here at the moment. Purple through the second sector. Is it a good third sector to top it off? It is, but he just maintains P3
Price.
As he very briefly dropped down to 4th. Yeah, Price up to 4th, yeah.
Yeah, so Ottaviani went up to 3rd, then to 4th, then to 3rd. So
There's Trace. There we go.
Oh, okay. Right, I was thinking that the championship was going to peter out and it was going to be, we weren't going to have the big dogs up there every single week. That has changed. There's Gianmarco Fiducci, who I was told today by a certain William Chadwick that he would have a livery on his car. Turns out that's not the case. So next time, in a couple of weeks, you should see a nice purple livery on his car. So we're on board with Lucas Muller. Across the line he goes. Very good middle sector. Does not improve. But look at this. Look at the gaps, guys. Half a second separating the whole... Oh, my God. There's 3 drivers with exactly the same time. Bence Banky, Pfeiffer, and Sheehan all have got exactly the same time. Although it doesn't matter because Philip Howell just went ahead of them. Hakkinen's gone ahead of them. And I'm getting excited here thinking, oh, yeah, this is getting so close to the end. We're only halfway through the session. So Isaac Price is fastest out of everybody right now through the first sector. He's also up by 200ths in the second sector. So this would only get him to 4th, I think. So I think that's not in individual time. I think he's effectively up by 200ths, including both sectors. So we go across the line. What has Isaac Price produced here? Across the line goes, well, it's good enough for 3rd. So he did improve. Final sector was not the best out of everybody, but it was green, and he goes up to 3rd. Oh my God, Con, this is going to be unbelievable. As Dreis goes 3rd, and this is 400 separate the top 5.
Yeah,
Oh,
all 3 Germans, all 3 Porsches at the top as well. As we see Enzo Filipao come through the second sector, goes personal best again. So this is looking like a tidy lap for the Frenchman. As I'm looking up and down that timing screen, just to see if I can spot any purple with someone that's on a very good lap indeed.
This
And
is
actually,
good.
Emre Cian, he disconnects before the line though.
The final corner
resets.
was not good. What about Chihan then? Let's go on board with Chihan as Lucas Müller goes purple through sector number 1. Chihan's he also sacks that lap off. So we got Fiducci on a fast one, Dreis on a fast one, Lucas Müller, but Fiducci is the furthest up the road. But if he can improve by a 10th, he's only currently going to gain 1 position here, but I think Müller is probably going to go faster as Müller is now purple. Purple across the line then for Fiducci. Does he improve on his position? He does. So there we go. He does go ahead of Müller, but Müller's right behind him. So I think Müller might be about to retake that position and maybe even a bit more. Lucas Müller across the line. How quick is it? It's pole by 9 thousandths of a second. Ho ho, Lucas Müller. That is delicious. What a move.
Race across the line, purple sector 3, but remains in P4. We've still got 3 minutes left of this qualifying session to go. Still more opportunities for drivers to get themselves a lap time or a better lap time set. As pretty much everyone is out there. Tim Yarshall, Müller is going to try to extend his advantage. Kripner up there as well, as he has to take the resets. Philip Dreis coming through now and will get himself his time started. As Tim Yarshall, that's an invalid sector 1, as he has to reset. There we go.
Yep, there's a reset there. We've got a few people to say hello to. We've got Barmy, we've got Cara Lee, we've got, who else? Alyssa, Mrs. Lollipop, we've got the Bull City. Who else? We've got Carson F1's here as well. Manuel Vera Silvestre supporting Lolo. Great to see. Sean Conception as well. Welcome to the stream, guys. Let me know where you're watching from around the world. If you're watching over on any chat, just get yourselves involved. Say hello. Zelta Viani goes up to 2nd position.
Oh.
Christ, that came out of nowhere. Yeah, he's in the BMW. Unbelievable.
Yeah.
So he's up to 2nd. We've got Florian Hassa in the Lambo. He's gone up to 7th. So as much as there is pretty much a Porsche party at the sharp end, the gap between P1 and right now P8 is less than a 10th of a second. That is outrageous.
That's, lovely, and we still got time for this to change again. Max Pfeiffer's on the lap as well. So yeah, this is crazy stuff. Although I believe you might just have to take the reset here probably. Yeah, but I mean, if he resets now, it's probably enough time. Well, we'll have to see.
Yeah, it'll be fine.
Actually, he'll just no, keep it going, keep a foot in. He'll come across the line now, start a lap.
Yeah.
Yarshall.
Tim Yarshall goes pole, a 49.731. The best time to do it is right at the end, and he's managed to do it. And well, now Philip Dreis is going to start one more attempt here. As long as you cross the line with 49 seconds left on, you're absolutely sorted here. Isaac Price has found 400ths of a second in sector number 1. What about sector number 2? How quick is sector number 2? Oh, here we go. Isaac Price is on the charge. The sole McLaren. Could he take pole position? Qualifying is so key around the Norisring. He rounds the final corner. It looks really tidy. He's smiling. I think he's buzzing because it's pole. Across the line, Isaac Price goes. It is pole for Isaac Price. It's 200ths of a second the difference. And Yarshall and Price have done it when it matters. Nearly a few seconds to go. Ben Spanky was quick through sector number 1. We got Ottaviani was only sort of his best time through sector number 1. Middle sector was not fast enough, I don't think. Maybe gain something out of the final sector is invalidated there for Banky. I think that's done. Klaffenberg maybe about to go a bit faster in P23. Not sure he's going to be pushing anybody in terms of a pole position. So there is Klaffenberg. No, it's done. Isaac Price, ladies and gentlemen, is on pole position. Yeah, with Tim Yarshall just in behind him. Wow, what a session!
Incredible. The qualifying session delivers again here in DTM Esports 2025. Crazy, crazy stuff. Awesome.
Oh, that was sensational. We're not even in the race yet, guys. My good Lord. If you're enjoying that, guys, let us know who you're here supporting. Let us know, yeah, maybe what your favorite bit has been of the stream so far. Make sure you subscribe to the DTM Esports, or the DTM YouTube channel. Make sure you go and leave a follow on the Race Room Twitch channel and the YouTube and all that good stuff. Oh, the Bull City, loving the competition. Yeah, this is going to be good. This race, well, hold on. I'm going to throw it out there, Connery. This race is either going to be exceptional or an absolute shunt fest. Maybe both. Probably both.
Yeah, this is going to be crazy because remember, it's still a street circuit, so there's not going to be a lot of room to maneuver in there with everyone so close as well.
Yeah.
Oh dear, this is going to be an interesting one.
Yeah. Thankfully, we've got ourselves a formation lap though for us to, get our breathing in order. So yeah, let's see exactly what goes down for this. There is Ottaviani. We're on board. Of course, we are partnered here with the Cupra, the official pace car of DTM. And they are, of course, with us here in the esports as well. First safety car ever in Race Room, which was for last season's DTM Esports 2024. But it will be a McLaren that takes us away with two of those pesky Porsches, the second and third, both representing the same team. So that could help out as well. Isaac Price just doesn't have anybody to help him. So it's literally him versus both of those Porsches. Maybe that comes into effect. But what he'll be hoping is that Ottaviani gets an absolute flyer and can split those Porsches sooner rather than later. Heading down towards that final corner, Connery. Any final thoughts?
Hold on to your hats, folks, and if you don't have a hat, go get one and hold on to it, because this is going to be crazy.
Ladies and gentlemen, this is about to be absolutely ridiculous. You thought Zandvoort was exceptional and fun and a great time. Oh, Norisring always proves to be just a spectacle, so unique in its track form. It's as simple as that. Then Isaac Price has that inside line. He has to wait for the green lights though to go off before he can go. So there is the Cupra that will tear off into the pits. But it is a front row then of McLaren and Porsche. We've got privateer Isaac Price with a couple of Falcon Sim Racing team participants. But who will be in the lead in towards turn number one? Who has that straight line speed advantage into turn number one? Wait for those green lights to appear, ladies and gentlemen, and it will be round two of the DTM Esports Championship 2025. Race number 3 is not quite going yet. We're still waiting for it to happen. And it's the second line. And we are off, and we are running. It's 4 or 5 wide already. Isaac Price has found something with the McLaren in terms of race starts, because this is not the first time that he's got an absolute worldie of a start. And I tell you what, Tim Yarshall is going to run a little bit deep here. Lucas Muller might find himself an opportunity. They are 3 wide at the front here. Ottaviani did just momentarily get involved and decided, you know what, I'm going to back out of this. Don't need to cause any potential issues. Big defensive move there from Lucas Muller. Forces Ottaviani to run wide, although he might have the overlap coming through the chicane on the exit. Doesn't quite have it. The gap down's going to increase to the front too. But wow, the lead is Isaac Price. It's by half a second. Oh, what a start.
Yeah, absolutely. A little bit of a shouldering to the outside there. Ottaviani fighting with the Porsche of Drace as Drace sends it down and in at the final real corner of this racetrack, as Ottaviani being involved in pretty much everything as they come to end the first lap with less than a minute gone in the race. And this is how quickly these laps are going to fly by here at the Norisring, as Ottaviani feeling the need to move around a little bit into the braking zone here, as Krippner in the background looking to the outside here. You got to be careful not to open up that inside for anyone behind when you do that. Ben Spanky, Gianmarco Fiducci, the ones going side to side, side by side now.
Yeah, Fiducci trying to find himself an opportunity, decides to sort of just get in behind the Dirt Esports car there of Ben Spanky. You can see the Hakkinen and Pfeiffer are battling for position as well. Do they get themselves figured out? I think Hakkinen's just about got his nose ahead of that battle, so he's good to go. As we see a big send again. Not quite going to work out there. What's happened there? There's a big smoke being kicked up. I think everyone's okay. Philip Drays was definitely not as close that time to Ottaviani. I actually think he was more defending than attacking here. But there has been a change for the lead. So Yarshall has got ahead then of Isaac Price. So that was what the dust was being kicked up for. And wow, Yarshall then is in the lead, and Isaac Price now with all of that hard work to do once again. But I tell you what, that Porsche looks very good in race trim.
Yeah, it does. It really, really does indeed. The starts are immaculate for Isaac Price, but losing the race leads in the early stages. Let's see if he's able to hold on to Yarshall. Of course, Yarshall didn't have the best of starts to event 1. He'll probably admit that himself, but still time to recover, and a race win here in the sprint race of the second event would be a good way of doing so, of bouncing back from that first event. But Isaac Price, we know exactly how quick he is over the length of a race. However, he is hurt a little bit by how much ballast is on that McLaren at the moment, and it won't help in terms of the tyre wear either.
Yeah, I think the only saving grace here for Isaac Price is the fact that the 2 cars behind him are actually battling for position. Ooh, bit of a naughty there from Lucas Muller. Looks like Philip Dre's, Nottiviani are having a big old ding dong as well. But Tim Yarshall, now he's got in front, seems very tough to catch up to. Gap now 6/10 of a second, but I think it's a little bit more than that once they come across the start finish line once again. But yeah, that Porsche does look like the better race car, that's for certain, because as much as Isaac Price got off the line brilliantly well, he was a bit of a sitting duck, and he's, again, he's not really close to Yarshall at all. Yarshall's been able to just pull away.
Running on board here with Ottaviani as part of that RAG eSports. If you're unfamiliar, that is the team that's heavily associated with Romain Grosjean. But down in towards the braking zone for the hairpin now goes Ottaviani, trying to find a way through here. Can be quite tricky. I mean, we saw the Cup drivers have absolutely no problems with it, but it can be tricky because there's so many sort of switchback opportunities here. You have to really make the move stick and make it stick first time here. Otherwise, you're just going to end up slowing both of you down, and you might come under threat from cars behind. But
Krippner's just made a move on Dre's. Sorry, just as you were saying that, Krippner has just got a really nice exit through the chicane by the looks of things, and Dre's is now just falling backwards here. So finally, the move being made there by Krippner. He gets the position. Sorry to cut you off there, mate. But as you can see, Ben Spanky now also trying to join that party. But you're right. If you're trying to make a move around here, if you don't successfully get it done, you're going to be under pressure from someone behind you. It's just the nature of the course. There's very small difference between the pace of drivers, because there's just very small differences in people's approach to the track, because there is, again, only 4 corners. As Ben Spanky there is, he wasn't very happy there with how things went, but he wasn't really involved in that, so I guess he might be a little bit unhappy with his own move there or something, or own issues, because the guys in front, they were just battling amongst each other. Tim Yarshall still quite far ahead then of Isaac Price. Lucas Muller not really closing in on Isaac Price. So in all fairness, Price will not be that worried about this race. If his car is that far off around here, then he wouldn't have chosen his car based on the Norisring. So if he can come away with a couple of podiums from this week, I don't think he's going to be too disappointed.
Yeah, I mean, it's consistency over the whole season, isn't it? That wins you championships, and P2 in the sprint, and maybe even P2 in the feature event as well. That would be a pretty good day for Price, that's for certain. But I don't think he's given up on the sprint race just yet. Yes, the gap is up to almost a second between the two, but it hasn't really gotten any bigger since the pass happened. So that one's an interesting one to note. That's for certain. And Price isn't really under any pressure at the moment from behind either, because Muller is even further off the back of him than he is off the back of Yarshall. So yeah, it's an okay time for Price at the moment. Okay time for Yarshall as well, who has a buffer to the cars behind. But you can see the string of cars back here. Ottaviani trying to lock onto the back of Muller, and then we've got like a slightly longer train with Krippner heading up the rest of them as they stretch all the way down the pit straight.
Yeah, 100%. And again, it's going to be tough to keep someone who was so dominant last season in Tim Yarshall at bay this season. Eventually, he was going to make his way towards the top end of the grid. It really was as simple as that. He was just that good last season that it was a bit of a shock that he wasn't that good last time out. But yeah, Tim Yarshall doing a very good job right now, leading by 1 second, 13 minutes, 30 seconds left on the clock. And actually, the last 5 minutes of this race will probably be the most difficult of the whole week of racing, because in the second race there's a pit stop. So for the most part, they're going to stop halfway through. The lead cars will probably wait until right at the end, so they don't, drop behind, lapped cars and all that stuff, and have to worry about that. But you know, they'll only really have to do mainly 15 minutes. If their tyres feel good, they may stay out a bit longer, but they're forced to do the whole 20 minutes in this first race, right? So the last 5 minutes here will be a bit more of an unknown.
Yeah, it really will be. And well, we'll talk more about that when it comes to the feature with that scheduled pit stop. But yeah, I'm just having a look at the lap times compared to fastest laps, and they're actually not massively different. Here, at least, as I'm sort of reading Tim Marshall a 50.1 last time by. Fastest lap of the race was a 49.9, but it was a high 49.9. So at least at this stage, tyres kind of holding up okay. But we'll have to see if that remains the case at the end of the 12.5 minutes that we have to run.
Yeah, so it would appear that they're dropping off a little bit, right? Just a little bit. You see there, Muller, Ottaviani battling for position, and there is Lucas Muller into third position now then, which is where he wants to be. Is there an opportunity there for Ottaviani to retake down in towards that chicane? I'll tell you what, he nearly had the overlap there. That would have made them two so slow through there, and actually would have opened up an opportunity maybe for Krippner to get involved. But ultimately, they are, they're through there. They're all good. You see that Muller's now going to have to go ultra defensive into that final corner. So we get a look then on board with Ottaviani's camera as well. And he tries something there. It's not quite going to work out. But this battle is going to go on for a while, I think.
Yeah, I think so too. And it's just, I mean, if there's a couple more of these side-by-side moments, immediately to the inside for Lucas Muller to try and defend. The inside for the hairpin, the RNG eSports driver having to try and commit around the outside, but not successful this time.
Yeah, and that's what's going to bring someone like Leonard Krippner in. Look at the gap now, it was over a second, and now he is right up their exhaust pipes here. It is very, very close now between these three, battling for that final podium spot. Ottaviani has definitely not given this up by any stretch of the imagination, has he? He is very close in behind here, but ultimately, the more they go side by side, the more opportunity that is going to give the guys in behind them.
Yeah, absolutely, as they'll go briefly wheel to wheel through there. Lucas Muller still holding on to position. We can see the view on board with him, as or rather in his sim rig, shall we say. Looks as focused as ever. He has to try and defend once again in towards turn number 1.
Yeah, I'll tell you what, he might run a little bit deep here, and Krippner will get an opportunity. He does. That's exactly what happens there. They're a bit cleverer in that situation. There was a chance for Krippner to take that P4, and then it becomes a very easy game for Muller, because basically he'll be able to drive away, and Krippner will become the driver doing the defensive work. But as it stands, it looks like the BMW is keeping them very honest. Ottaviani keeping them extremely honest here, and actually the gap manager, I think Krippner may have just tagged the wall there on the exit of the chicane, tried to really take the fast eSports line through there. Ultimately, it doesn't matter whether you're taking the eSports line or the normal line. A wall is a wall.
That's a quote, isn't it? No matter what line you take, a wall's a wall. Again, it's another defensive. Oh, it's the Ottaviani tried to squeeze right up against the Armco to make the move happen on the inside in towards turn number 1. But again, third time around the outside, third time unlucky for Ottaviani. The BMW just can't quite get through there, and I think the mid-corner speed of the Porsche is really helping out.
Yeah, 100%. It seems to be very, very nippy. The exit speed as well seems to be absolutely on point as well. And if Ottaviani's going to get this stuck, it has to be perfect. Because again, ultimately, if it's not perfect, he's going to be under pressure. It looks like Dre's is catching up as well. Bent Banky, Florian Hasser also all looking to get themselves involved in this party for a podium. Get a look back then at Ottaviani, closing up. Once again, Lucas Miller does look cool, calm and collected. He does look a little bit red in the face. He might be feeling the heat. As Ottaviani has actually found the perfect spot. He found the inside line this time round. He is going to miss the apex, but again, teammates tagging each other. And I tell you what, it was naughty, but that's the Norisring. Ultimately, that's a good move. Muller didn't turn. If Muller turns in there and there's contact, I think there's a cause for a penalty. But the fact that he turned out of it, Ottaviani gets away with that. But Ottaviani isn't going to be worried about it. He's now up to P3. Teammates nearly tangle. Philip Dre's is sat there going, there might be an opportunity for me. It didn't quite work out for him. But Ottaviani now up into those podium spots.
I mean, that was telegraphed over the last 3 or 4 laps that he was going to try and attempt that again. He was tempted to give the go for the gap that was always closing. to the driver's left-hand side down in towards turn number 1 for a couple of laps, but decided better of it the first couple of times. But then he went for the full commitment, door was left open, and Ottaviani is through and now leading this train. Can he pull away from it? Well, that's a slightly different issue, but it does seem like he has a pretty decent clear air pace. But yeah, it was definitely one of those moves where you back out of this or we're having an accident, which are not my favorite kind of moves. I do hate it when people do those sorts of things, but in the end, I mean, it's gained in the position and there was no contact, so yeah, it's not nice, but then again, is everything in racing nice?
No, it isn't. That's for sure. Ken, we've seen plenty of examples of that, whether it be sim racing or real life. You're there to do a job, and ultimately Ottaviani's done that job. The gap at the lead in the front, by the way, is coming down quite significantly. I'm wondering whether, like I mentioned earlier on, the final 5 minutes is going to be very tough here for the Porsches. Again, they're very good on getting out of the corner, but ultimately that's going to take its toll in the end, because you're just purchasing the tarmac a little bit more than all the rest of the cars around you, and each lap, each corner, it's going to affect it. Again, so yeah, it's under 0.7 of a second now between the two of them. It was over a second, so Isaac Price maybe about to fight back here, Connor. It's pretty exciting.
Yeah, potentially. It's one of those things. It might just be a small little mistake from Yarshall that's put him back into this, well, that's reduced the gap slightly, or it might be that Price is able to manage the race a little bit better. But yeah, this is going to be interesting as, you know, it's getting towards half a second now, back up to 7/10 on the relative as they exit the corner, of course. But yeah, I mean, if they do get into a fight here, it'll pretty much be only them as well, because they're, you know, 5-6 seconds ahead of Ottaviani at the moment, who had to take multiple bites at the cherry to be able to get past. Actually, he might end up losing a position again here, as there was a little brief swap there on the timing tower. I think Muller had a bit of an attempt, but was not successful.
Yeah, it looked like it was about to have a little nibble, like you said there. Didn't quite work out, but ultimately, as it stands, they are in the same positions. And you make a really good point there. Isaac Price, by the way, has done the fastest lap of the race, so I think he's now starting to find pace. But I say he's just done it. He has got the fast lap of the race. And what lap he did that on, I'm not too sure. But what I would suggest is Isaac Price not having the pressure from behind. Oh, yeah, he's had a go there. They've lost time to the front, to the group behind. But because there's no one behind him to put the pressure on, he can really send it. He can afford to have a go a couple of times here, really force Yarshall offline. So yeah, keep an eye on the front battle. That battle is going to get spicy with what, 5 minutes 20 seconds to go, which is about 6 laps, maybe 7 laps, guys. So still a fair few laps.
Yeah, fair few as well. And yeah, it's we might. I mean, we were denied a grandstand finish last, you know, at Zandvoort. Maybe we might get one here at the Norisring instead. Now, gap half a second.
Let's go on board with Price. Let's see it.
Let's
see it from his cockpit cam, shall we? And again, he's taking a nice wider line there. Yarshall's defending thin air. He's going to get a better exit out of this. You know, a tighter exit for Yarshall. Again, is going to scream and hurt those tyres to come then through the chicane. It's just opening up the corner a little bit better. Looks like Yarshall driving a little bit more nervous than Isaac Price. And Price, you know, he's just very, very experienced. And Tim Yarshall, of course, has been a champion in the series. He is the reigning champ. So you've got basically the two best candidates of going up for a battle in these two. As again, Yarshall taking a very tight line through the final corner. Isaac Price taking a bit of a looser line, ultimately getting a bit more speed on the exit. But it's working for both of them as it stands. A little, yeah, Isaac can't grow a beard, so I don't know what he was tugging on there. But yeah, he's a little scratch of the chin, heading up towards the braking zone through turn number 1. And again, he just opens up the corner a little bit better than Yarshall. But Yarshall, again, seems to be able to get the power out of the corner. 4 minutes to go, 0.3 of a second, so the gap is coming down. And it's only a matter of time before we see a potential move.
Yeah, I think so too. It's Price applying the pressure here and doing so in quite comfortable fashion. I don't see any stress on that face whatsoever. Just laser focus on the screen ahead of him as, again, it angles in towards that final corner, looking to try and get the traction off. But you can see, just from the onboard view, how well that Porsche can apply the power. It just is like a rocket ship off of these corners, and as a result, Price really can't make it equal coming off the corner without a mistake from Yarshall.
Yeah, Yashul, though, was good on the exit of the final corner, and Isaac Price is
On
the
the
best
brakes,
he's been for a while. So if he can just find a little bit more out of that final corner, then he will be close enough to make a move into turn number 1. And he's running out of opportunities to do so. So no panic stations yet for either of these drivers. Tim Yashul, if you'd offered him this position with 3 minutes to go, you'd take it every single day of the week and twice on Sundays. And Isaac Price, you know, he'd probably prefer to be in the lead of this race because you can manage it from that perspective. But yeah, sometimes it is just a little bit easier being the car chasing. So it's all about the exit now. This is a really nice view here, Connery. Good shout, bringing the rear wing cam in. And you should see that McLaren slowly but surely get bigger and bigger. Here we go, starting to get bigger, but he will run out of road. This is the closest he's been so far. This is definitely the closest he has been so far since the first couple of laps of this race. And you can see he's actually just letting off there into the braking zone just to make sure his exit is not compromised. But once again, Tim Yashul is going to live to fight another lap in towards the chicane. And with 2 minutes 14 seconds left, once the next across the line, it's going to be tight as to whether it's going to be 2 or 3 more laps remaining. So down towards that final corner, we'll do some very quick maths for you once they cross the line. I'll be able to tell you exactly how many laps they were or not. We'll find out. But Tim Yashul still holding on there, sliding the corner under braking a little bit. Just shows that there is a touch of pressure. Isaac Price has taken a bit of a wider line this time round, following the driving style of Tim Yashul. And as they cross the line, there is going to be 3 more laps of this race.
3 more laps. 3 more laps for Price to potentially look for a move on Yashul. 3 more laps for Yashul to try to defend to get his first race win of the season here. The sprint race at the Norisring. Of course, we have race 2 later on with pit stops involved and all that. But right now, all that matters are these 2. They have quite a good margin over the rest of the fields. And it's just them, 1v1 duel here for the final laps.
And if this was the race number 2, you would bet your bottom dollar that Isaac comes into the pits and tries to undercut. But there's no opportunity to do that in the pit stop. This is the opportunity here. This is the closest these 2 have been this entire race in this order. Can Isaac Price find himself an opportunity? There we go. He's going to be forced to go round the outside. And, well, Tim Yashul is going to have to hang on. How far ahead can Isaac Price go? Yashul squeezes Isaac Price out wide. Can Isaac Price go for the switchback? He absolutely has gone for it. Tim Yashul, though, does get that power down nicely. And wow, this could make it the last lap if they battle intensely. It could force this to be the last lap. Yashul runs deep. He is going to be in trouble down towards the final corner. There is no 2 ways about it. The McLaren is chasing down the Porsche. Are we about to see a change for the lead once again? There is no emotion on Yashul's face. He's going to hold that inside line. And as we go towards the braking zone, we've got 15 seconds left on the clock. And Isaac Price is the closest he has been with 10 seconds left to go. This could be the opportunity. I think we're going to get 1 more lap here. We are not going to get the checker flag. Here we go. So on to the final lap of the race. Are we about to see Isaac Price extend his championship lead? Or will Tim Yashul get his first win of the season? Side by side, down towards the apex of 1. Again, another switchback opportunity for Isaac Price. It's not going to work out. Power down perfectly from Yashul. Pressure. What pressure. This young man is the reigning champion for a reason. As he runs deep through the chicane again, this is where Isaac got the run last time out, but he struggles to get the power down. The car slipping and sliding left and right as we run down towards the final braking zone of this famed circuit in Nuremberg. Isaac Price goes extremely deep. He's going to try to come back here. It's going to be a bit of a drag race, but Tim Yashul is going to hold firm. He will hold on to this position, and for the first time this season, we will say Tim Yashul is a DTM eSports race winner here in the sprint at the Norisring. What a finale. Fair play, chaps. That was outstanding. Connery, over to you.
Wow. Wow, you can see the relief on Tim's face there, the fist bumps before he just got himself to the start-finish line. Oh my words, that was intense at the very end right there. Isaac Price, of course, you know, he gave it a really, really, really good go. And you can really credit him for that opportunity there, just wiping sweat off his brow, off his hair, and looking forward to this main race. But yeah, wow. What an incredible effort on the part of both drivers.
Yeah, this is shaping up to be the best season of all time. The way the racing's been, how close it's been.
1/10.
Yeah, that's super special there from the front two, and there's nothing dirty about it either. No big lunges. It was just a really, really good race. Tim Yarshall then wins another DTM eSports race. He's got himself his first win of the season. Isaac Price, a third podium of the season. He's managed to come first, second, and then second this season. Second, first, and then second. Alessandro Ottaviani finishes in third spot. Again, a big shout out to the Italian in the BMW up into third spot. Fair play. Lucas Muller, Leonard Krippner, and Philip Drazy in next six. We've got Ben Spanky, Florian Hasser, Gianmarco Fiducci, and Julian Kunze as your top 10. And ladies and gentlemen, we've still got the feature race to go, which is happening very, very shortly. So if you are about to disappear, you've got one more race to go where there is a pit stop in it. So don't go anywhere before that happens. Max Pfeiffer then for Dirt Esports, Emre Chihan, Enzo Filipao, Julian Klaffenberg, Turka Hakkinen. We've got Christian Juhas in 16th, Leonard Carton, Luciano Whitver, Christian Michel, Ilya Drofozikov is in 20th position. And then we've got Patrick Jari, Bo Dixon, Kaj De Bruin. We've then got Andika Ramat Maulana, Marvin Mackenberg, Mihai Neg. We've then got Peter Berliak, Lloyd Badolf, Manuel Vera, and then we've got Nicholas Huben. And that is all of the drivers today. Connery, whoa, that is, I am sweating here, and I live in the UK. So I have no idea what those drivers are dealing with right now, because that was just very good. Like, regardless of who won that race, the racecraft in that race was absolutely phenomenal, because I don't remember seeing anyone facing the wrong way, and it is so easily done. 2021 DTM finale. Shout if you were there. If you know, you know. But it's so easily done, right, around this circuit. It's so tight, and the margins are so small. To make overtakes, you have to take chances. The driving level from this grid is really good.
It really is, and it was just so close at the end there. We had that big effort from Price. We had an amazing defensive effort from Yarshall, showing why he was our previous DTM eSports champion and back to the champion form here at the Norisring. Potentially, we'll have to see how the main race goes here. But if it's as close as that, then I think we will all be very, very happy indeed.
100%. And while talking of entertainment, we've got an interview with one of the most entertaining drivers, not just on the DTM grid, but in motorsport worldwide. Let's have a chat with Nicki Thiim.
So we're with Nicki Thiim right at the tests in Oschersleben for the upcoming DTM season. So good to see you, Nicki. Good to have you back in DTM, and tell us something about the new season. How hyped are you for the upcoming season in DTM?
Yeah, hi guys. Thank you for having me on in your sim racing world. Always a pleasure to do it on my own, and obviously see you guys do it. Big respect for the discipline and so on. And yeah, obviously we're here, Oschersleben. The trucks are unloading now, so we are ready. Tomorrow is the first official test, so obviously we are all super excited.
Nice. Looking forward to see you at the season opener in Oschersleben. But now we are at Norisring with the DTM Esports Championship. Quite a track. You have good remembrance, don't you?
Yeah, not bad. first ever win DTM. Always a memory, and especially Norisring. Big highlight for us in the real world. I hope for you guys too. It's a very special place to come. The atmosphere, so it would be nice to have some of you guys there in real life. You're more than welcome. But yeah, small track, but very specific and very fine tuning is very important. And yeah, you guys know how to do it. But yeah, special place.
But you won a race there last season. You already mentioned it. Tell us what is mostly important at a track like Norisring.
In Norisring is the fascination of driving on a street track. It's always nice, especially as the real world, the real tracks allow you to get away with a lot of stuff where those tracks just hit you really hard. It hurts when you make a mistake, and that's what we all like. But yeah, short track, very specific. It is a street, so it's very bumpy. It's no smooth, nice surface for those F1 cars. So it's always nice to come where it's a lot of job for the car, especially the brakes, very important. 2 big braking zones, so it's tough on the brakes, and especially the damping, as just mentioned, is very bumpy. So fine tuning on all those parameters is very, very important. So I guess it's the same for you guys.
Also in sim racing, absolutely. So how big is your experience in sim racing?
In the past, I did a lot. Obviously, the typical thing growing up with a Game Boy and PlayStation, so on. And in the past couple of years, then way too many hours on iRacing and all those platforms. I really loved it. Don't do it anymore. Obviously now getting older, getting kids and so on. So, but yeah, maybe one day, I return. I'm sure. Still a lot of fun, especially with friends, and it's very competitive. So yeah, um, good fun and good training. And obviously many of my colleagues do it, as we all know. So yeah.
And I think it's a good way to start with motorsport at the moment.
Yeah, especially when you see those the budgets that's put on the table. It's crazy. It's obviously sad to see it go that road. We were lucky back then that we could somehow get through with some with low money, but with other stuff. Now you need the new of the newest. But yeah, anyway, that's karting already starting there, very high budget. So again, sim racing is a good way, and it's the mind game and everything in it is the same. Obviously, the feeling is always a topic. Um, but yeah, obviously, sim racing you can do as many hours as you want. So that's obviously a big plus. Where racing is very limited, especially we see with DTM, we have limited test days. So on sim you can drive day and night if you want. So yeah, obviously already there you have a big advantage.
But from today on, it's only 3 weeks till we see each other at the season opener in Oschersleben with the real DTM. Tell us something. What are the goals for the season, and how happy are you now racing with eSports? And I guess it's with such a high tradition.
Yeah, it is really the icon on the grid, I would say. Up now is probably the team that's been there since forever. You would almost say since the new DTM started back in 2000. It's been there on the grid, and yeah, always been top of the league. As I say, to all the Germans, it's like signing for Bayern Munich. It is really the place you want to be, I think, at the moment. So, and yeah, obviously with 1 year experience in the Lamborghini and all the tracks and DTM, especially DTM, is such a special championship in a good way. Obviously, like all the other guys behind me in the paddock, highly motivated and yeah, obviously big dreams.
All right. Thank you very much, Nicki, for your time, and see you at Oschersleben. Thank you.
Have fun, guys. Thank you.
Well, there you go. From one legend to another, Isaac Price is on pole position provisionally, but there's still 6.5 minutes to go. So, you know, we sort of got a little bit excited earlier on, you know, at the 5-minute mark, and then we realized, oh, actually, there's still 5 minutes to go. Isaac is going faster here as well. But yeah, Isaac doing a very good job. That was a cool interview there from Nicki Thiim. Obviously, his family name is synonymous with DTM, with Kurt, his dad, taking part many years ago. One of the legends of DTM, not just taking part, one of the legends of the sport. So yeah, great to hear from Nicki Thiim. Right, anyway, to qualify, Leonard Carton on board here in the Dirt Academy car, moves up to P11. But Isaac Price finds himself in the lead. Where is Tim Yarshall? He's only P12. You expect that to change sooner rather than later.
Yeah, absolutely. It's just getting that banker lap in, I suppose, and there's ample more opportunity to get yourself towards the top of the order here. Anzi Filipao, top 10 provisionally as he heads his way across the line. Go on.
Manuel Vera is up to a top 16 position. I know there are many people on YouTube watching right now supporting Vera, and well, that's the highest that Vera's been in qualifying. There we go. There's Manuel Vera for the Alien Motorsport ABS eSports team. And he's about to start another lap here, though. So, yeah, in a top 16 right now, right behind Tim Yarshall, and about 0.2, just shy of 0.2 of a second off of the pole position pace. So, shout out to all of Manuel Vera's family and friends that are watching from home.
Yeah, absolutely. It's great to for a driver to have so much support. Lucas Muller, second place.
I thought he was going pole then. That looked like he was going pole. Sorry about the noises, guys. I get pretty excited as we're on board. Hakkinen might be about to go pole, though. Across the line he goes. No, it's only good enough for 9th position. Leonard Krippner is, again, the purples are based off of their own time, I believe. I'm not sure it's purple in the whole session because there's 3 people right now with purple sector 1, although Hassa is flying. But, and so is Krippner. So Krippner might be about to improve. He could be good enough to go P5 here, unless he absolutely sets the world alight in the final sector. But I think Florian Hassa is someone to watch out for here as well. So Krippner goes across the line. It's only 7th position. What about Florian Hassa? He also sacked his lap off. Ottaviani's going quick here as well. As Ottaviani goes pole position, Isaac Price might be about to retake it, though, from him. So he goes across the line, and he doesn't. So Alessandro Ottaviani in the BMW is currently pole position.
Yeah, so the purples work based on the, as far as I remember, the current fastest lap, not if anyone else has gone purple in that lap as well. So that's why you see multiple drivers on the left-hand side go purple in Sector 1, for example, because all of them have done a faster Sector 1 than the pole time. However, they don't affect each other's purples, if you know what I mean.
No, I don't. We move on. It's hard.
And sometimes you might get weird ones where they take the reset and it still shows their purple, but that's another issue.
Yes, as a sim racing commentator, sometimes you've got to be an investigative journalist. Isaac Price is second right now by 33 thousandths of a second. He's currently 8 thousandths of a second up on the best time we have seen. We're about to see him cut the timing beam for the second sector here, and no, he'll be sacking this off, I think. I don't think he'll be continuing this lap. He might just get on the exit here and go. Oh no, he's continuing. So maybe he feels like the final sector is where the time is at. So Isaac Price about to come across the line, and is it? No, he does sack it off. Right, Philip Drays is purple right now through the first sector. We're about to see him cut the timing beam as he come into this. Nope, that's definitely not going to be fast enough. Hakkinen is also not going to be fast enough. And we're starting to see people struggle this session, actually. There's no one really pulling up any trees. I wonder if Ottaviani's time is going to hold out.
It's not going to be this one. At least it's not going to be an improvement this time around for Ottaviani. But 33 hundredths of a second, actually, you know, a track like this is actually an all-right margin. As weird as that sounds, you could just see how close everyone is on the left-hand side of the screen. Although Lucas Muller, well, his first sector was invalid, so that's not an actual purple.
Hey, how consistent
Isaac
is
Price,
Ottaviani,
that's an actual purple, though.
Oh, that is, yeah. Ottaviani was only 8 hundredths of a second off of his best time. Like, the consistency there.
That's sector 3.
To have 2 times that would be good enough for P6 and P1, like, that's pretty impressive. As we go, again, the middle sector for Isaac just seems to be where he's struggling. So the first sector, he seems to be absolutely nailing. But, yeah, the middle sector is where it's killing his time. Over the line then for the final sector, and he, again, gives it up. I think he's realised, you know what, I've got one more attempt here, and let's go for it. So, yeah, Isaac Price, I think he'll be pretty happy with second, considering who's pole. Like, again, not to diminish Ottaviani, but Ottaviani hasn't won a race this season. Like, if Tim Yarsha was pole, it becomes a bit more of an issue. But unless Ottaviani strings together, you know, week after week after week in terms of race performances, Isaac Price would be happy to be second to him.
But I mean, we've seen the starts from Isaac Price as well, so yes. It might even be Isaac Price leading into turn 1.
And based off of the evidence we saw in race number 1, the BMW is very good in the race run. So in all fairness, Isaac will probably be happy that there's a BMW up there fighting amongst those Porsche. Shout out to Florian Hassa, because the Lamborghini was nowhere near in the first race, but right now is right up there in P4. And it's crazy to see how different the grid is. Where is
Yarshall?
Yeah, where is
P14 still?
Still P14. Like, he's done. Yeah, I think
Price is on a lap.
Oh my God, yeah.
He's hooked together in middle sector.
He's about to take pole position here, and I don't think it's going to be close. I think we might see. This might even be good enough to go down to a 0.5. You know, as much as that's going to be a struggle. Across the line he goes. Oh, that's a 689. All right, I was a bit far off there, but he has gone pole by 4 hundredths of a second. Where is Tim Yarshall? He's 16th.
He's not.
Is he on a lap? He's not even on a lap.
No.
Oh my,
no.
That is massive news for Isaac Price here. he is going to be absolutely buzzing with who's around him. Lucas Muller, like, kind of needs to do the team job here and get into the lead and win this race. But this is brilliant news for Isaac Price.
Yeah, couldn't have been, couldn't have been better, really. Because Isaac Price, I mean, we saw Ottaviani be the bottleneck a little bit inside that top 10 in the sprint race. So if that happens again, and there's no surprises on the start, then Price could be in for a very comfortable race.
Yeah, seems like the longer run as well. In a pit stop race, you want to be able to decide when you come in. He'll just go as long as he can, right? There may be a chance of some undercuts, but if you undercut here, you're going to be put into the pack. You will be put into a pack of cars. Like there's no way you can guarantee everybody's coming to the pit before you to leave that big gap. So this is where the engineers are going to earn their money for sure. But it is the final race of this round two of the DTM eSports 2025. This is a 30-minute time race. There is a mandatory pit stop that they have to serve, ladies and gentle cars, which will be in the middle of the race. Pretty simply. They can choose when to do it, though. It's like 7.5 minutes in, and then with 7.5 minutes left to go, they have to take it in that period of time. And they have to change 4 tyres. Calicio, which game is this? This is Race Room Racing Experience. It's a free download. Head to Steam, get it downloaded, or head to Race Room Racing Experience website, or raceroom.com. Right, Isaac Price is on pole position. We are here for the formation lap. There is Ottaviani, who is in P2 with the best racing number in the world, number 8. Connery agrees. Not going to give him an opportunity not to. As we head down to turn number 1. Predictions then, Connery. Who is going to win this one?
Price is going to nail the start, as he has done in 3 out of 3 races so far this season. Ottaviani might, if he doesn't lose the P2 on the first lap, he'll probably lose it at some point within the next 5. Muller potentially has a good chance if he's able to get through on Ottaviani quickly. Maybe he has a chance of trying to lock onto the back of Price and give him a bit of a hard run towards the end. But that's my predictions at the moment. But obviously, pit stops can shuffle this whole thing up.
I think that there's going to be such a significant fight for P2 that Isaac Price is going to have a 3 or 4 second advantage, and then he just canters his way to a race victory. If Ottaviani can get into the lead here at the start, then it can be anyone from the top 8, I would say, that can win this. I would go as far as Hakkinen being able to win this race. But we're about to find out. Into the final corner we go. The pace car will come in. Of course, we are partnered with Cupra, or the DTM are partnered with Cupra, should I say, not me personally. They haven't sent me a car. But if you are listening, Cupra, copy. I'll have one. Thank you. Lovely. As we move then towards the start-finish line. So we've got the finish line, which is the checkered line, and then you've got the start line, which is a little bit further up the road. Isaac Price is in the McLaren, and you've got the BMW of Alessandro Ottaviani, who is just not quite close enough here. It looks like Isaac Price has got this start nailed. He's almost on his own row here. As we're about to come towards the start of this race, we're about to go green light racing. We are off and we are running. So the cars in the back seemed like they started a little bit earlier there, but can the BMW keep hold of second position and maybe even chase down for the lead here? He has got ahead of Isaac Price. They are going to be going through their side-by-side. Isaac has to leave the room. And has Ottaviani got an overlap for the chicane? I think he has. This goal he doesn't. He does not. He has to back out of it. It looked like he had. Isaac Price, though, for the first time was under a bit of pressure. Look at this. Florian Hasser he's up into 3rd position, I think. He's going to get past Ben Banky. Lucas Muller is moving down the order. Hasser's now dropped down to 5th. Hold on, he was in 3rd, now he's 5th. What happened there?
Now Lucas Muller down the inside here of Ben Banky, as it's the Porsche versus the Ferrari coming off the corner there. Coming towards the and completing the first lap here. Obviously, that Porsche going to get a little bit of the slipstream from the 2 leaders, but that's not really going to help the Lamborghini having the legs coming down into the braking zone for turn number 1. Can Hasser complete this? Excuse me, I was going to say Lambo. It's Ferrari, isn't it? Oh. Ferrari has the legs down the straight around the outside. Still unsuccessful in making this move, though.
Tim Yarsh was P8, by the way. He's up to 8 positions, and he was sending it into turn 1 there. As we see Ben Banky, he's going to run deep here. This should give an opportunity on the exit of the chicane for Lucas Muller to get the inside line down towards that final corner. But yeah, Tim Yarshall is up into 8th position. He has had a great start to this race. It looked like he's making a move into turn 1 on this lap as well. As we see now, Lucas Muller should finally get this done, I think. There we go, should hang the Ferrari out to dry. Lucas Muller moves into 3rd, which is phenomenal news, by the way, for the front 2. Ottaviani will be loving this. He'll love a little 1v1 versus Isaac Price. The BMW does look very good on a race run, so does the McLaren. So this suits them perfectly. I don't think you'll see Ottaviani try and put too much pressure on. But again, they're fighting for P2, which is perfect for the leaders. Lucas Muller's fighting against 2 Durr cars. Behind him, the Ferrari loses out. And actually, Florian Hassan, now in the Lamborghini version of that Durr eSports car, is going to move forward. The gap now, though, 2 seconds, the advantage for the front 2 over the rest of the field.
Hassel just sailing around the outside there at turn number 1. Puts his teammate behind him. Now he'll have a crack at Lucas Muller at some point. He just has to catch up another 10th of a second or so to give himself the opportunity here. But you can see the top 2, because all this battling are pulling away as Philip Drace and Yarshall, they tangle.
Yeah, Yarshall dropping down the order here, so he managed to get from 16th up into 8th position. But there was contact between him and, I believe, Philip Drace. Philip Drace now 2 positions up the road. And all of a sudden, Andika Rama Maulana's now up to P9. Drafosakov is in P8. Fiduci's in P7. So yeah, it's almost panic stations here for Yarshall. I think he's realised that, you know, if he doesn't get a good result here, it becomes increasingly difficult with only 4 rounds to go for him to really assert himself into this championship hunt, as he sends it once again down the inside there of Turka Hakkinen. Hakkinen trying to do his very best there to help his teammate Draze out. It's not going to work out, but Yarshall, as much as he had a fantastic start here, he's just had a little stumbling block to now negotiate. He's moved back down to 11th.
Yeah, back down, and a little bit of battling behind them as well.
Oh, Jari.
It's Hakkinen.
What a move.
Yeah.
Deliciously done there by Jari. He moves up a position as well. Sorry, no, was it Jari?
Juhas.
No, yeah, it's Juhas. Sorry, it's Juhas. Again, they both got the same livery car. Can Juhas hold on? As we see, Yarshall now going to try and go around the outside of Draze, and Draze is going to hang him out to dry. Yarshall will get the overlap on the outside down towards the chicane in the middle of this circuit. It's not going to work out, though. Draze will squeeze him as he should. And, well, they're going to try and go through here side by side. Oh, that's a brilliant move by Yarshall, by the way. My God, that is commitment. He's managed to make it stick, and he's flying through this pack. He just cannot afford to make any more mistakes.
Absolutely, but Drace will come back at him though. And Yarshall has to take the defensive inside line for the final corner. Juhas is on the back of this one, looking for an opportunity too. They're absolutely nose to tail as they head their way up towards the timing beam now. Where is the opportunity for Drace? Usually the inside is favoured in towards turn number 1. It's not impossible to go around the outside, but that's what Drace will have to do here. He has to go late enough on the brakes to be able to do this, but he isn't.
No, Juhas now going to try and get involved here as well, not quite close enough to do so. They've now also put Mitchell back involved in all of this. Luciano Whitbert maybe with an opportunity. The Dutchman currently in 16th position. Front 2, by the way, are now nearly 3 seconds ahead of everyone. So Ottaviani just sitting in behind Isaac, getting dragged along. And then at the latest or the latter stages of this race, he'll maybe try and make something happen. And actually, Ottaviani will maybe try and do the undercut. He'll be hoping that everybody comes in early. Isaac stays out for as long as he possibly can, and then with a couple of laps left before the pit window closes, Ottaviani will come in. But ultimately, Isaac can just respond whenever he wants to. So here's the battle then. We've got Fiduci in the number 46. You've got Drevozikov currently in 8th position, and you've got Kripner up ahead. You can see there Gianmarco Fiduci smiling. He's a beautiful man, I tell you. I've got a fair few man crushes, and Gianmarco is one of them.
Are they all Italian sim racing drivers? Because you said the same about Enzo Benito.
Yeah, no. You don't have to be Italian, but it helps.
We found your type.
Yeah, we found my type, guys. Italian sim racing. But yeah, Fiduci keeping Leonard Kripner very honest in this. With Drevozikov, Rama Maulana all closely contesting this position. Draze has dropped down. Oh, Draze is facing the wrong way, I think. Yeah, he's massively. Or is he pitting? Hold on, is Draze pitting right now? Maybe he is. Yes. Yeah. Okay, so the pit window is open. The pit window has opened, so I guess it's 5 minutes into the race. So Philip Draze has decided, you know what, I'm coming in. Keep an eye on this and watch exactly where he comes out here, because then we'll be able to gauge what sort of margin it is. So obviously he's got to put the 4 fresh tyres on. Isaac Price and Ottaviani is really the key positions we're watching out for here. So they're coming into the final corner. This is going to be close, between them and the people that pit. So where does Draze come out? in all of this. Well, no, he's going to come up behind them. All right. So he actually might come out exactly like where he was once he gets dropped down. Yeah, so here we go. So he's going to get dropped down. He was, remember, battling with Tim Yarshall. Where is Yarshall in all of this? Yeah, so Yarshall's just a little bit further up the road. There he is.
There he is.
So Dre's, it's basically like a lap at about 5 seconds is the difference in pit stop. And Dre's now is going to come out in the pack, and you're in trouble. You just cannot afford, I don't think you can afford to pit early. But ultimately, because if everybody slows each other down with the way the pit stops work, the leaders are going to come out in traffic regardless because the track's so small. So this race may seem like it's done with the front two, but it absolutely isn't. Like, anything can happen.
It's good information for the drivers as well. So you kind of come out about where you are right now, but 3 to 5 seconds further back.
Can he attack?
So
he's getting blue flags. It's so weird.
yeah. So that's interesting. So if you have a space back there, you can work it out in the timing, saying, "Oh, I'll come out roughly here, and I should have a little bit of space to run in that I won't be tripping over too many people." Then that might influence your decision when it comes to pitting here.
I think Ottaviani and Price, if Fiducci and Dvořákov come in, and Krippner, once those three have come in, that's their gap. So I'm sure that their engineer is probably pointing that out. So as soon as those three make that decision, it's a case of that, Ottaviani would be the key one there to make an early decision and go, yeah, I'm going. There's space there, I can drive into it, perfect, and then we move. So yeah, it's just so interesting. And it's the pit stop is always interesting in this championship, but this track specifically is just its own narrative.
Yeah, it is. It's deceivingly simple, but it can, it can be responsible for very interesting little intricacies that can happen in these sorts of races. With people pitting and then coming out one lap down in some cases. So it's it's an interesting one for that. Thankfully, we have no chance of safety car or anything being deployed. So
no.
There won't be a situation where I know at some tracks people can get trapped a lap down if the safety car comes out at the wrong time. But thankfully we don't have such a thing here.
No, there'll be no free pit stops or anything like that for drivers to stay out longer. So yeah, there's nothing to be worried about in regards to that. But this would be super interesting. Like already, I'm just wondering whether they make that decision. I just think the gap isn't quite there. So it really is Leonard Krippner, Gianmarco Fiducci, and Dvořákov. I think once two of those three come in, that might be the trigger for Ottaviani. So keep an eye on that. That might be the one prediction I get right in a year.
You won a year, yeah?
I only get one a year. I'm right once a year in racing. So
we're 4
and if I'm
months
wrong,
in.
yeah, I've not got anything right yet. So.
But we'll see if that changes. I mean, you could try and hedge your bets and just say Price wins this race, right? You're like that's the most likely thing that will happen. Of course, we're still waiting. We'll wait to see how this pit stop phase turns out. We'll see how they hold on to the tires. But in terms of a favourite at the moment, you can't go far wrong with the Brit.
No, he's looking very, very good indeed. The longer this goes on, though, the gap between Banky and Hasser becomes more interesting, or the gap between Banky and Krippner becomes more interesting. So the longer that comes out, as soon as that gets to sort of 8-9 seconds, then there is an opportunity, 100% for them to come in and find that gap, like Alessandro or Isaac. So yeah, keep an eye out on this. I think Isaac will probably filter into that gap now. Ottaviani not quite there, they're coming into. The time just closed up there. I wonder whether they're coming into the pits now. But yeah, Isaac Price still leads this race. Ottaviani still in second, 9 tenths of a second. As we're on board, we were on board there with Fiducci. No one yet deciding to come in from that second kind of group, apart from Dre's, who did come in earlier on. Where is Dre's in all of this now? So he's got Julian Kunzer, Michal Neg also around him as well. They've all come in to the pits as well. And actually, Dre's has dropped back behind Vera, Berliak. Lots of it. I think he's had issues. He must have had some issues somewhere. Oh no, he's 19th. Okay, so he's actually ahead of that group of cars. So yes, it's Kunzer, who's also in behind him.
Indeed it is. I get the feeling the race has calmed down
Yes.
quite a significant amount, as people are sort of waiting to see what happens in terms of these pit stops. I guess people don't want to go too risky at the moment and risk losing too much time in a long, protracted battle that they could have just, not done and saved that time and put themselves in a better position for the end for after the pit stops.
Yeah, I think what Dre's was hoping was to get some clear track and then drive into that space in front of him, like a couple of tenths of a lap. Because he came in so early, that may end up being sort of 2-3 seconds, which would put him up the order significantly, probably in a battle for third or holding on to third. But the fact that he's come out in traffic, it's just killed his opportunity there. I think the leaders are actually behind traffic now. Am I not mistaken? No, it wasn't. So that was another R8G car. That was the other BMW, which would have been Klaffenberg. I think it was Klaffenberg. That's was in a bit of traffic there. So there we go. There is Klaffenberg. They have negotiated it. And actually, there's 2 R8G cars there, isn't there? So they're now battling for position. Again, Klaffenberg, still one of my favourite names in sim racing. It's a very nice name to say. But the gap now. Let's look at the Krippner. I tell you what, the gap between Bentebanki, Krippner, and Fiducci is the gap that Price Nottaviani could probably, or at least Price could now force himself into. So the option's there now, and I'm sure his engineers are telling him the same thing. That's what they're looking for. They're looking for an opportunity to bring the car in around the midway point of this race, not have to wait too long to really maximise their race. But if they don't believe the gap's there, they're just going to go as long as they can. As long as they can, make sure everyone's pit, and then it should naturally give them that free track to work with.
It depends on what the traffic situation is going to be further ahead as well, because at some point the head of the snake will catch the tail, and then that makes things a bit more complicated for the race leaders.
No one's coming in, say, looking back down the grid order there. It doesn't look like anybody's coming into the pits, no. So again, the lead sort of, pretty much everyone apart from, the top 17 have all yet to pit, and then everyone behind them have pits. So we've basically got 50-50 now. Oh, crikey, that's deep. So that is deep there. Which Porsche was that? Oh, was that Philip Dre's? Or was that
Dravoskov?
Oh, it was Dravoskov. Right. So that was an interesting line through there. There's a gap to work with for Yarshall. Again, a little bit of argy-bargy there. I'd be very surprised now if Yarshall doesn't decide to bring the car in. Now, if we see a bit of a roadblock and he feels like he's massively faster than that car in front, there's an opportunity. He's the driver that needs to take a chance to make something happen here. If he's being significantly slowed down, there's no reason to stay out there as we head to the halfway point of this race. And actually, for him, luckily, it is Igor that comes in, and he doesn't need to. So I think he does the opposite there. Oh, well, no. I think he's tried to pump fake him there. And not gone in. Yeah, he's not gone in. He's definitely not gone in. I think he was like, oh, I'm going to go in. Or has he just let him go? And maybe thinks it's just, you know what, you're quicker than me. I can maybe I can have a better race by not fighting you, and my end position is going to be better, for both of us, because we're not going to be slow going side by side with each other. So maybe he's just being clever there and just gone, do you know what, you go, Tim, you're quicker than me, drag me along.
Yeah, absolutely. Yarshall up into P8, the recovery drive from the poor qualifying session in full swing. Of course, our sprint race winner. The problem with that is, though, we have double points for a main race. So it gets a bit, it gets a bit sketchy where, okay, you're doing so well in sprint races, but never put it together in the main race. That's not going to win you a championship, unfortunately.
No. Right, we need to go on board with Dravoskov now. And we need to figure out where he comes out in terms of Dre's, to figure out if Dre's has managed to gain any time here. So there is Dre's. There is, what's going to be a long pit exit, isn't it? Christ, how's he managed to get into that spot there efficiently with that wall there? Christ, that's not the one you want to be on, is it? You don't want to be the first one there. Right, so there is Dre's. He's going to be coming down towards that final corner. Dravoskov will not be dropped down for a while yet. Dre's, of course, has got some sort of track to work into now as well, a bit of clear air, but the fresh tyres effect would have gone. This will be the longest pit exit of all time for Dravoskov. And once they go past the exit of the pits, we'll see exactly what's going on. So where is Dravoskov? There he is, and he's miles ahead, isn't he? Yeah, that's not worked out for Dre's at all. That has not worked out for Dre's at all, although all 4 of those cars are now with each other. So the teammates are together. So it's going to make a great photo opportunity. There's a BMW. They're facing the wrong direction. That is a retirement, I guess. Fiduci's in. Okay. Now this makes it interesting, doesn't it? So Fiduci's come in. And now this really does open up for the leader. So Ottaviani, does he try and make a decision here to affect the race and come in? I think he's just going to do exactly the same as Isaac here, you know, just settle for second.
Potentially, it's a good amount of points for second here in these main races. So I wouldn't blame him if he decided to sort of take the slightly more conservative approach for the second half of this race. Someone who can't be conservative right now, though, is Lucas Müller, because he's got Florian Hasse right up his trumpet.
It's one way of putting it, isn't it? Juha speeding in the pit lane. Oh dear, that is less than ideal. But yeah, you're right. Lucas Müller has got Hasse right up his trumpet, as you said. That caught me off guard. Try and hold on to a podium position. We don't believe Dre's pushed into that podium fight. He's a bit far back. Or I don't believe he has at a minimum there. As Isaac Price comes in. Right, okay. So Isaac Price is into the pits. So I believe he comes out right ahead here of Bence Banky. I think that's the sort of the hole he's trying to fill, if you like, on this grid. And I could be well wrong here. But if he does come out just ahead of Bence Banky, I am a genius and I might have to become a race engineer.
It would be the second thing prediction you've got right this race, which I don't think you're allowed. You said you only had one again.
No. Yeah, I think the world implodes and all sorts of guys. It might be the end of the world as we know it. But yeah, Isaac is up on the jacks, getting those new tyres on. You see he's just inputting a little bit of throttle. The wheels just start slightly spinning. Look, he's just raring to go. You can see he's ready to go. Where is Bence Banky? So Bence Banky is the driver I think he's going to come out just ahead of. Where is Bence Banky? There we go. There is Bence Banky. Oh, no way. There's no way, Connery. There is no way. He's right in front of him. Oh, God. It's unbelievable.
That is...
that's an outrageous shout, isn't it? He found the gap.
Yeah, absolutely. I'm just in awe.
That was the gap he was looking for. That's the gap I think Ottaviani probably should have gambled a bit earlier because he would have been in that space as well. But yeah, whoever's at race engineering this week for Isaac Price has absolutely nailed it. So obviously we've got to celebrate the driver. The driver's done an exceptional job. Isaac is very good. But his engineers made an absolute worldie of a call there. And yeah, look at the clear track he's got in front of him. Leads the race, a net lead. Like, he's absolutely smashing it today.
Absolutely doing very well indeed, as he comes across the start-finish line, and there is Ottaviani just coming off the pit lane, and yeah, solidly behind, kind of almost pretty much exactly with the same gap as when they came down in.
Yeah, we've got Timon in the chat saying cheers, he's listening, that's his race engineer. Oh, well, you know, I'll take a little bit of credit there, Timon, I think. But yeah, we're on the same page. Bence Banky now leads the race. Bo Dixon up to second spot. Will Bence Banky come in and give Bo Dixon, who is one of the most winningest champions of my race community, ACR, ever. Many championships on Race Room, but he's won championships on all sorts of sims. But it'd be nice to see him in a top-end series representing distinct.gg. Is there that opportunity for him to lead a DTM eSports race? So Bence Banky's currently got a big old gap to work with. Oh, okay. So me and Timon are going to be swapping positions next time round, guys. There you go. You heard it here first. I think Bo Dixon is about to lead a race. No, he comes in. Oh, so Bo Dixon was about to lead. Oh, he might actually lead if his pit box is a little bit further ahead. So are we about to see Bo Dixon, for the first time ever, lead a AAA tier eSports championship on Race Room? Oh, there's an overtaking opportunity in the pits. Oh, he's right behind him. It's not going to happen. Bence Banky will stay ahead. Oh, it's such a shame. He just needs to stay out for one more lap. Oh, no. Oh, well.
One more lap.
Yeah, that would have been fun for sure. Isaac Price leads by 0.6, and this is where the BMW became a little bit faster in the first race. Well, add that car with some fresh tyres, I think there's a fight for the lead here with 8 minutes 50 seconds to go. I really do.
Ottaviani a tenth faster that last lap, so there might be evidence towards what you're saying there, Luke. It's obviously it's just one data point. We'll have to see the trend, but 8 minutes 30 still enough time to be able to make something happen here for Ottaviani.
Yeah, I think this is going to be a pretty good finale. Isaac Price just holding firm. And again, in terms of the points difference, there's such a significant difference in points from race 1 and race 2. It's almost double. So right now it's 40 points for race 1 and then, 40 points for winning and 34 points for second. In race 1 it was 24 and 20, as we see just a sea of cars. All battling for position here. So we're on board with Drafozikov, who's battling with Gianmarco Fiducci, who's in the Ferrari just in front. Then they've got Leonard Kripner, who might be about to be overtaken into turn number 1. And then amongst all of that, we've got a teammate there of Christian Mitchell, who, Philip Dre is trying to get involved. Mitchell's in behind them. So no love lost between teammates here, ladies and gentlemen. They are fighting.
Absolutely. So while the leaders may not be fighting just yet, the guys at the bottom end of the top 10 certainly are. A little bit of a repeat of races gone by, shall I say, with this particular fact. But all in that one big long train all together. Of course, all have gotten their mandatory pit stops out of the way, so that's not going to be a factor here anymore. It's all mano a mano, I suppose, as you see Gianmarco Fiducci really tucked up underneath the Porsche of Leonard Kripner there. Getting really, really close, in fact pushing him down the straight perhaps. Here comes Dravosikov looking for a move, decides to back out of it. All a bit sketchy down into on the brakes into towards turn 1.
Yeah, it's starting to get spicy in this race. Look at the gap for the lead, it's 3/10. Ottaviani is looking for a first ever DTM eSports win and would become, well, he'd be our 4th different winner actually at 4 races, wouldn't he? It'd be as simple as that. So yeah, are we about to see a 4th different winner? Will Isaac Price claim a second feature race win? So we're on board with Ottaviani. That gap will come down naturally with the slipstream. See, it's just nice, cool, calm, and indeed composed, wearing that RHG eSports shirt. Trying to get the power down nice and early. McLaren is probably the better car to be chasing in terms of overtaking than it would be the Porsche. Porsche seems to be just a bit of a rocket ship in terms of grip on the exit of a corner. Right now, this could be a very even battle indeed. So I'm excited to see how this goes down. But with what, 6 minutes left to go, which is about 7 laps, 7, maybe 8 laps. Ottaviani trying to get his first ever DTM eSports win.
Potentially. I mean, it's on the cards for sure. We've seen the end of the stint, as you mentioned. It's been a little bit more comfortable for Ottaviani than the beginning, and you can see he's catching, and forcing Isaac Price to actually go defensive here for the first time.
Yeah, I think Isaac's seen so many sends up the inside of turn 1. He just feels like I have to defend that space. But realistically, I don't think he needs to. I think Ottaviani is far enough behind, although he's just protecting any kind of send. And also, he might be thinking Ottaviani isn't going to do anything stupid. So if I make it obvious where I'm going here, you know, he knows he's going to take the outside line, and ultimately we're both going to get to the end of this race safely. Because if they do have a coming together, Lucas Muller would be able to pick up the pieces. He's only 4 seconds behind them, 4.5 seconds behind them. So yeah, they just don't want to make any silly mistakes.
Don't, really don't. And well, this might be getting closer and closer down in towards the braking zone for turn 1. Price having to go defensive yet again. Ottaviani making the attempt around the outside, looking for the cutback off the corner. Doesn't quite get it done, but I mean, just sizing up his opposition now, isn't he?
This is just like Tim Yarshall versus Isaac Price in the first race. Tim Yarshall, of course, coming out on top, but Ottaviani's caught him about 4 minutes earlier than what Isaac Price did to Tim Yarshall. So this is going to go down to the wire, and we've just got plenty of laps for it to, obviously bubble down to a really nice finish here. Again, if he can keep being really close on the final corner, then there's every opportunity to make that move in towards turn number 1. But Isaac Price just needs to figure out what is the best course of action. What do I need to do to guarantee myself being in the lead coming out of 1?
Here we go again. Just a little bit of a look, a little bit of a move. Again, you can see that BMW being very dynamic in searching for the appropriate line to be able to capitalize on any little mistake that Price might make, but he's not making any at the moment, to be fair. Ottaviani he's going to have another good couple of attempts at this, though.
Yeah, 100%. It's all about patience into that final corner. If he can get close enough and then just be patient through there, the run up towards turn 1 is the key for him. Seems to be able to get really close up towards turn number 1, but again, he's probably the closest he's been so far. This is going to be very tight heading in towards turn number 1, but I think he just needs to be a little bit closer again. It's all about that patience. Every single corner is effectively setting him up for turn number 1. So he is now, again, got to try and set it up through 1 here, to then be quick through the chicane and then give himself an opportunity to be close out of turn number 4. So you're almost setting up the move through turn number 1 for the next lap in turn number 1.
Yeah, you are. You're having to think so far in advance here. And Price will be very, very, very well aware of that. He's ultra experienced driver, knows exactly. It's been in this situation probably 15 million times, but he still needs to execute if he wants to get a feature race win and the first double race win of the season.
Yeah, first time to win 2 races, first driver to win 2 races would be Isaac Price. And the biggest or the most important factor of that is it would be 2 feature race wins, which are worth significantly more than the sprint. As Isaac Price makes a big mistake, Ottaviani follows him, and wow, that is the first chink in the armour that we have seen, ladies and gentlemen. But ultimately, he is going to survive. Ottaviani is a bit of a monkey-see, monkey-do situation. He's just followed exactly what Price has done. If he was a bit more composed there, that was a freebie.
Yeah. That tiny little error. I mean, those are the things you need to capitalize on. When the margins are this close, you have to pounce on those sort of things. You have to put yourself in the right position at the right time to be able to capitalize. It's not all about luck. You kind of create your own luck in racing.
No, 100%. This is the closest that Ottaviani has been this time around. He's got to try and force the issue. Isaac Price then will stay to the left-hand side of his part of the circuit. For us, it's the right-hand side. Ottaviani has got his nose up ahead, but that inside line is just so strong. And once they come down towards the chicane here, the only thing Ottaviani really could do is try and hold the outside line there with a bit of an overlap and pinch Isaac onto the first apex, meaning he's slow onto the exit down towards turn number 4. But this is the closest these two have been. Next time they cross the line, Connery, it's going to be 1 lap remaining. And oh boy, are we about to have a grandstand finish.
Yeah, well, there's going to be a look to the inside for Ottaviani. That's optimistic, and actually it might give him the run.
It's brilliant. He's supposed to be so far. He's gone for a bit of a move there. And what he's tried to do is he's tried to get Isaac Price offline, not be perfectly on the power on the exit of the final corner. And ultimately, that is exactly what's happened here. Isaac will defend that inside line. Ottaviani forced to go around the outside again, gets his nose just up ahead. There is contact between the both of them. Ottaviani, though, has he got the power down early enough this time around to keep that overlap, to pinch him onto the apex of the first part of the chicane? He does, as we come through the chicane. Ottaviani round the outside. Is he going to run into the wall, though? He isn't. Oh, Isaac Price reads it like it's a book. He now has the inside line. This is fantastic stuff. Ottaviani just about ahead. Has to again pinch Isaac onto the apex. Make sure he's slow on the exit of the final corner. Isaac runs super deep. I think Ottaviani's going to get the better run though. Oh, this is going to be a drag race. I think Ottaviani's got him. This is brilliant stuff from them both. Just about on the limit. And Ottaviani, oh, take a bow. The pressure was on, but it does not matter. Delightful drive from him. You can see what it means to the Italian. And oh boy, that was a grandstand finish that we wanted. Brilliant stuff.
Just look at him. He's ecstatic about that. It was a big door shove to the inside coming through the final corner. You can see exactly the intentions of both drivers there. But in the end, it was Ottaviani coming out on top, a 4th different winner here in the DTM eSports Series for 2025. That just goes to show how competitive this season is. You want to be watching every single race this season.
4 from 4, ladies and gentlemen. 4 different winners. Absolutely exceptional. 3 different manufacturers as well. We've had a BMW win, we've had a McLaren win, and we've had a Porsche win 2 races. Alessandro Ottaviani, does win the race, completely busts my prediction. Just hung with Isaac Price there and just did a fantastic job. You've just got to respect. We will be speaking to him in a minute. Isaac Price then in second position. He won't be too mad with that. He went above and beyond in that final corner, and that could have ended pretty nastily. But luckily, Ottaviani kept his composure, had the run on the outside, and then that drag race was won. So yeah, as much as we don't want to see contact, I'm glad that they're both on the limit there, and I'm actually glad they both came out of that unscathed. Lucas Muller then finishes in third, Florian Hassa in fourth, Bent Banky, Tim Yarshall are your top six. We then got Kripner, Fiducci, Trafozikov, and Philip Drays as your top 10. Then we've got Christian Mitchell in 11th, Max Pfeiffer in 12th. We've got Andika Rama Maulana in 13th, Turka Hakkinen, Julian Kuntzer in 15th, with Luciano Whitver in 16th, Emre Chihan, Enzo Filipao, Kaj De Bruin, and Julian Klaffenberg as your top 20. We've then got Patrick Jari, Leonard Carton, Peter Berliak, Bo Dixon, Marvin Mackenberg, Vil Craivi, Nicholas Huben, Mihai Neg. We've got Manuel Vera and Christian Juhas as your top 30. We've got a treat here, ladies and gentlemen. Actually, Ottaviani's just disappeared. So let's bring in Lucas Muller. So let's talk to Lucas first, and then we're going to talk to Isaac and Ottaviani at the same time. I think that's probably the only way we can do this. So let's bring in P3. Oh no, we've got them all here. Well, let's bring all of the drivers all now ready to rock and roll. So we first of all got Alessandro Ottaviani. We're going to bring Isaac Price in, and we're going to bring Lucas Muller in, all at the same time. Have a chat with you guys. Alessandro Ottaviani, the race winner, your first ever DTM Esports race win. What a way to do it.
I can't believe it, guys. It was so crazy. Yeah, after like 3-4 laps, I was just thinking in my mind, okay, P2 is already a great position, another podium. So yeah, but I never expected some kind of final. So yeah, very, very happy.
No, fantastic stuff, mate. Talk us through the final corner there, where Isaac obviously has absolutely sent it, but you've managed to hold on. Were you expecting anything less?
Yeah, I think it was quite a tricky situation because we were, side by side. He tried to send, I tried to give him space. I have to review it because we had a small touch, but I think it was everything, normal. And then I just, went full throttle on the exit and just tried to, okay, now it's, a sort of sprint. I was expecting that kind of overtake, so I just tried to give him space, but yeah, it works. So yeah, that was I love a race for sure.
Well, final one from me, but please stick around because I want you and Isaac to have a chat together during this interview. We spoke to Tim last year when he won his first ever DTM Esports race, and it was enough for it to propel him with the confidence to be a champion. Philip Drays, of course, was a first-time winner last time out. Do you believe this race win can give you that confidence to go all the way this season?
For sure, it's boost in terms of confidence because after last race, I was just
Isaac's in here as well. It's all good. You carry on.
Congrats, by the way, Isaac. Nice race. So yeah, for sure, it's a boost in terms of confidence. After the first race, I was quite not really motivated because I knew, okay, yeah, I'm doing good about my driving performance. I was not that there was nothing about complain, maybe just little bit stuff like to make it better. But yeah, for sure, I'm not gonna say that I will do same kind of performance in next round, but for sure, it's a boost for me in terms of confidence, and I will just approach the other race even more motivated.
Excellent. Well, just stick around for us, Alessandro. We're going to have a quick talk with Lucas. Lucas, a little bit more of a, considering what they just did in the final few laps, a little bit more of a cleaner race and maybe less taxing on the brain, but great to have you back in the podium spots. How are you feeling after all of that?
Yeah, I mean, fine. Can't complain too much. I think highest finishing Porsche is a good result for today. I think in quali, I did better than I did in a race. There were some problems while driving with the car. Didn't feel too great, to be honest. So yeah, something we need to work out for the next races. But yeah, I mean, I can't complain too much. P4, P3, solid day in office, I'd say.
let's talk about last season was fixed setup. This season's open setup. How big of a difference has that made to the championship for you?
I mean, obviously, you can tweak the car a lot more into the way you want to have it, which is obviously, for me at least, I say it's an advantage, because like the Porsche obviously tries or is a very understeery car, very difficult to drive, especially with the fixed setup. But now with the open setup, you can definitely tweak it to your likings. But obviously, like, as you now can tweak more than last year, you need to spend more time in it. So it obviously gets a bit more exhausting probably over the season to spend hours and hours into the setup and driving and whatever. But yeah, I mean, in the end, I think many esports championships across every platform are open setups. So yeah, we're used to it. But I think it's better than last year, to be honest.
Perfect, mate. Well, we'll let you enjoy the rest of your evening and weekend, mate. Still a beautiful man as always.
Thank you. You as well, mate. See ya. Bye-bye.
See you later. Back to Alessandro then. Connery, I'll let you have some time with Alessandro. Obviously, he's very emotional right now, as he should be. But yeah, I'll let you ask some questions while we let Isaac. I think Isaac must be in the German broadcast. We just dragged him in. So yeah, hopefully Isaac pops back in sooner rather than later.
Yeah, Alessandro, you're still here, right?
Yeah. Emotional, but yeah. I'm here.
Yeah. Because that was kind of out of nowhere for me. When you go and watch the broadcast back, I might have been quite negative about you at the start of the race, right? But but I was basing it off of race 1. So what was really the difference between your performance in race number 1 and race number 2? What changed for you? Because it seemed like everyone was trying to get past you. A trainer car trying to get past you in race number 1. It wasn't the most comfortable situation to be in, but in race number 2, you were just there on the back of Isaac Price constantly. So what was the difference there between the two races?
I think after race 1, I knew I had, the confirmation that today I was competitive. The mixed car and driver and setup was, a good match. So I started race 2, just more chill and confident about that I was able to score some good result. And to be honest, I was never expecting a victory. My goal was to do like 2 top 5 or 2 top 7, something like that. But yeah, it just been incredible after the start of race 2. I knew that I was able to stay with Isaac, also, of course, thanks to the slipstream. But I was never expecting to attack him. My idea was just to, just follow him, just follow his strategy. And yeah, let's see what will happen in the final laps of the race. I knew that in the first part of the stint, I was able to hit more the tires, hit quicker the tires than the McLaren. So probably it makes the difference to close the gap in the second stint, in the first laps, because I was able to warm up better my tires, and then it was just crazy, just crazy on that.
Yeah, and obviously the McLaren which Isaac was driving had a lot of ballast on it, which didn't help his tire issues, towards the end. So that's why he might have fallen off a little bit more. Sorry, but yeah, it's incredible performance from you today. It's if there's one race to win, it's gonna be race 2, right? That's where the double points come in. So yeah, fantastic. Lucas, anything you want to say?
Well, we've got Isaac here now, so we can have a little back and forth between Alessandro and Isaac for the second time today. Isaac, you talk us through your final couple of laps there with Alessandro.
Yeah, I mean, I think for me, the race was probably lost in the pits. I kind of, I thought I had Alessandro covered, and I tried to play it a little bit safe in the pits, and he, nailed his pit entry or something and caught half a second on me. And then after that, he just drove an amazing final stint. Like, any little mistake I made, he'd get a little bit closer. I defended as well as I could, but if you keep having to go on the inside into those corners, eventually you're going to go a little bit deep. And, he capitalized. I think it was a little bit of contact, but it was probably a little bit more on me than him, so I think he deserved it.
That's really very honourable of you to say those nice things about Alessandro, and he deserves that as well. But let's talk about the championship, Isaac. You are fighting with a different driver every week at the front end. How important is it that it is a different driver every week?
I mean, I think that obviously helps kind of build up the points advantage. But the most important thing is to perform well myself. Like in the past, I think I've always had very good race performances, but I've never been able to kind of consistently put the qualies together. And that's why I always struggled on Norisring in particular, because you have to be so close to your PB here because it's such a short track. And I always really struggled with that. So today I didn't feel great in the first quali, but I still managed to be like 100th off my PB, and then I set my PB in the second quali. So I can't really for me, the most important thing is just to keep having these kind of goals for myself to improve and that are related to my own performance, because I can't control what everyone else is doing.
No, excellent stuff, mate. Well, congratulations to both of you. You've put on a hell of a show. It's been a pleasure, and hopefully we get to see more of you both racing together in the future.
Yeah, that's great.
There we go, Connery. It's another round in the books. It's another DTM eSports round done and indeed dusted. We would have had Isaac on camera, guys, but unfortunately we couldn't afford his image rights. No, he quit the Zoom call, so we couldn't have him on. Any final words from you?
More of that, please. That's incredible. Like we've got 4 different winners in the DTM Esports Championship for 2025 so far. We could have more different winners as far, if this trend continues. What a difference it is compared to last year, where I felt like Tim Yarshall was kind of dominating everything, to where we find ourselves now is to, well, yes, Isaac Price is ahead in the championship. He's the one to beat in terms of points in the championship. But it feels like on any given race, anyone could take a race win and give Isaac a good fight. But it's finding that consistent person that's going to be up there that might be a bit of a question mark in terms of championship. But from a race to race basis, yeah, absolutely, this is crazy.
Yeah, well, when Moritz won it in 2020, it was very much him and Jack Keithley, but Moritz was very dominant. Kevin, when he won his, was pretty dominant. Tim was the most dominant last year. So to have 4 different winners out of the first 4 races this season is, yeah, it sets us up beautifully well. Let's check out then the rest of the season calendar before we will wrap up, and we will leave you to your weekends. So we have done and dusted for this round. The next time you'll see us is the 18th of April, round 3 at the Nürburgring. Then we've got a DTM eSports special event. At this rate, I think it's me versus Connery in a 1v1, which I'm happy to take on, no problem whatsoever. Then we head to the Saxon Ring. Then we head to the Red Bull Ring. And then finally, in July, it will be the Hockenheim Ring. So there you go, guys. Round 2 done. It is in the books. We head to round 3. We head to the Nürburgring for round 3 of the DTM eSports 2025. From me and Connery, it is a massive good night and enjoy your weekends. See you later and goodbye.